This episode of Pondoff's Anonymous is brought to you by McKelvey Insurance Group. If you've ever felt confused or overwhelmed by insurance, McKelvey Insurance Group keeps it simple. They are an independent agency, which means they compare options from multiple providers to find the coverage that actually fits you and your needs, not just one company's policy. There's no pressure, no jargon, just honest guidance and real help. Call Evan McKelvey at McKelvey Insurance Group at 618-623-0080. You can reach out to us at Pondoff's Anonymous and we'll connect you. Or visit their website at mckelveyins.com. That's McKelveyins.com. We couldn't produce this show without them. This episode of Pondoff's Anonymous is brought to you by Light Source. What do we need when we're in the dark? Sometimes it's simply just a light source.
Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. React if you have to, yeah. Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, yeah, one of a kind, yeah. What's on your mind, yeah. Well, hard to find, yeah. Beautiful mind, yeah. Still in my prime, yeah. Just know that I'm here.
All right, now we are. Welcome. Pondoff's Anonymous episode. Do you know? TBD. Yeah. Season 3. Season 3 of 3. Here we are. Illinois Recovery Center with, I've been excited for this for a couple of months, I think, when we started talking.
Yeah.
It's Kira Andersen.
It is.
Yes. We met virtually because you had a girl that has found home at underground recovery community. Her name's Brooke, and
Shout out, Brooke.
She was living in a sober living environment, female sober living environment. Her sponsor started bringing her. Shout out to Madonna, who's a young mid-70s.
Yeah, Madonna.
And is just a great sponsor and advocate for women in recovery. And that's how I learned about Gratitude House. That's how I met Brooke. Brooke shared her story. We always have a personal storyteller every Wednesday night. And on that stage, it's 15 to 20 minutes. But she was like, you got to listen to this podcast I just did, and sent me the link. And that's how I'm like, oh man, this gal's a fucking baller. Like, this is a badass podcast. And then I started diving into your story, and then I'm like, where's the tissue box? You've been through it.
Yeah.
So thanks for driving out here.
Yeah.
And being with us. And apologies if you ever listen to one of our shows. We're horrible.
Oh
and
gosh, stop it.
Not very good, and we may curse a lot. And
That's like a million put-ups. Like, what the fuck?
sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Zoe's
3 put-ups for
medicine
every put
alarm
down.
goes off a couple times, which is good. We need that.
Only in the evening.
So any tips you have after the show on how we can improve, we're all open for wisdom.
Gosh, it's the raw, authentic, just being human stuff. That's how we get it all out, right? And it's how we're relatable, because we're all people. We're all humans brought in this world, and to do, we all have a purpose, I believe. And, it's, nowadays with internet and social media, and everybody's always buttoned up, and, it's not.
Couldn't be us.
It's, and it's not real.
Yeah.
It's not. And there's so much, the new term is AI slop. For 15 years, 20 years maybe, there's been so much social media slop. Yeah. Like trying to put some fucking goodness and wellness and community out there. More is needed. And I mean, that seems to be the entire purpose of your show is and it's really some powerful stuff that you've had and you've talked about. And that's, I think, what we're trying to do, and be a little self-deprecating, although Zoe likes us to.
He says we a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't speak
we're
for
a
me.
team.
Right. Self-deprecating has never really been my thing.
So anytime I say something bad about myself, she wants me to do 3 put-ups for every put-down.
The rule applies to everyone, Bo. It's not just him.
Just FYI.
Yeah, that's
watch your
what I thought you meant pull up.
Oh,
Put up.
She's not gonna.
Definitely couldn't be me.
She's not gonna put me through that.
I was writing the number of how many the other kids got down in school.
The pull. Yeah, I can't. I'm a health and wellness coach and a trainer, and I work out like 5 days. Can't do a pull-ups.
Really? I was
Thank
gonna,
you.
I saw that. You're and you've, well, let's start at the beginning. Are you from Nebraska?
From Omaha, Nebraska. Yes.
If Dixie's listening, she's a woman I work with, biggest Cornhusker fan I've ever met in my life.
I was just
Hi,
about
Dixie.
to say the Huskies, but I knew it was
Or Huskers.
Husker. They really
Huskies,
know her.
same thing.
Do you bleed Cornhusker red?
So I used to say that.
Okay.
Because it was true. Now, I moved away when I was 18.
Okay.
Lived in California for a long time in my 20s, and I sort of, I still have my California telephone number. I hold on more so to that.
What's the first three numbers on your phone number?
408.
Okay.
Yeah, Bay Area.
Oh, so northern. Okay. My wife's first time she called me, it was a 310 number, and it said Beverly Hills, and I'm like, oh man, this girl's rich.
Who's this?
Nope. She's a social worker.
Oh boy.
That went to the most expensive universities on the planet, and
Yeah.
my son's grandkids will be paying off those
Well,
loans.
I know. Isn't that a riot? Some of those crazy schools, crazy amounts of money, and then you literally will never make back.
Did you go to be a social worker?
Yeah.
Wow.
WashU grad, right here.
With the public service loan forgiveness,
Oh.
you just 10 years, 120 payments. If you're working
it?
for a public service something, go.
Does Cafe Dolce, the coffee shop, apply to that?
No,
No.
podcast. No.
Okay, yeah.
You have to be working for a company with a 501c3.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure.
I got a bunch forgiven for working at a high-risk school district.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
people, you need to listen to this
Right.
and look this up.
Right. Yeah. Because then you just end up paying like the fake money, the interest on whatever the loans were.
Oh.
It's all fake anyway.
It's all
Sure.
fake.
Money's fake.
It's all-
Girl math is real.
Yeah.
That's where I'm leaving it.
So you moved to Northern Cal, Bay Area.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
I've
grandma
never
lives up
been.
there.
Oh, really? Where
Yeah,
at?
San Jose.
Yeah, I was in Los Gatos, so
Oh,
South Bay, right
yes.
near San Jose.
Yeah, we went over there. I took a girls' trip there.
Yes, right at the foothills of the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Oh
I'm
my
actually
gosh.
taking my kids to California. Yeah, we're going for a week.
Fun to
Yeah.
that part of the
In
state.
just a couple days. We're actually going to fly into San Diego. I have some family there.
My
Okay.
sisters too.
Yes, we love it. So we're going to stay in La Mesa and then drive up the coast a bit and stay with some friends in San Luis Obispo.
Oh,
And then drive up to the South Bay and see all my people up there.
Eh.
Yeah.
My wife's sister's in SLO,
Yeah.
and she was just in town visiting for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
It was great.
And that's all you have to say about it.
No, Tracy, we love her. She's incredible. But I've never been to Central Coast or Northern
Yes.
Cal. I've been to the Reno side of Tahoe, and I mean it's just such a bucket list because so my cousin who he owns Olive and Oak, and he's got
Your cousin owns Olive and Oak.
yeah anything you need.
right.
$1.
Well,
You should open with that.
Well,
so because we had a big fundraiser there and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're actually having another event there in August.
Really?
Yeah.
In the hall?
Yeah. in the
Incredible.
hall. And a benefit concert, and they gave us, a ton of discounts and are, all about supporting us, and they
Yes.
have in the past. And they have an incredible story and mission, and have truly changed some lives as well. So
yeah, it's been a wild ride with the Ali Hinkle Heart Foundation,
Yes.
and then the restaurant has been such a success, and he's always loved to cook as we grew up, but he's got the best executive chefs, and his passion is the purple teeth, the red wine, and he's a big, is it sommelier?
Sommelier.
Sommelier.
That's why we have him right here.
The guy that doesn't drink or like wine.
The
but-
sniper. Yes. So he is constantly taking trips to Northern Cal, and I'm seeing the pictures, and part of his job, like I'll go in there at 2, have a meeting, and he's got a different wine distributor, and he's got the purple teeth. His teeth get pretty purple pretty quickly from
Seriously.
sipping on it. But it's business, somebody's got to taste it.
Baby.
Okay. Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got a sample.
How long were you in Northern?
Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I graduated college in 2007 and went out there right away. Took a job with a small pharmaceuticals company. I was actually in grad school was going to complete my undergrad and graduate in 5 years, and it was 2007, like I said, and I got a job with a small pharmaceutical company, and I took it. So I left grad school, which I'm like, that was kind of dumb. But at the same time, you know, the 07, 08, when the market crashed, and so I feel very blessed and thankful that I, you know, was picked up and moved out. And so I was there until 2013.
Okay.
Yep. So I was with the same company, small dermatology company, and it was amazing. I worked my way up into training and management development program, and
cool.
You know, I was young and but I learned a lot. But it was cool because I went out there at like 21 or 22, and you know, dermatologists, plastic surgeons were my clients, and we would, back in the day, wine and dine them. And so I started drinking fine wine.
Sure, I bet.
Very quickly. And so it became a little bit of a wine snob.
It's an easy place for that to happen.
Yeah, I had a blast in my 30s. So I loved it out there. I really, really did. But, yeah.
Did you meet your husband in Northern California?
I did not. No, so I moved back in 2013, and actually...
to Nebraska?
Yes, I was ready to move on from being in the field.
Okay.
And my company, things just weren't moving, and I felt called to go home. A job presented itself, and back in Nebraska, in Omaha, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll give this a shot. I mean, I was living in someone else's basement.
Oh, wow.
You know, approaching 30.
Sure.
And looking around, being like, you know... I just don't know about this, you know, right? Like, and all my friends were like living in basements and not getting married and having kids. I mean, it's Northern California. It was the Silicon Valley.
Sounds nice.
And we had a great,
don't get any idea.
We made a great salary, but in the Bay Area.
Right.
Right. Great salary for whom?
Yeah, exactly. For where? Is right. So,
for Nebraska.
Exactly. Which I never thought I'd move back to Nebraska.
Nobody, I feel like, ever thinks they're going to move home, and then we're all like, I remember feeling safe-ish sort of one time.
So I'm going to move back into my parents' basement as a full-blown adult. So I felt called to move home, and exactly. So I actually, I feel like God brought me home. My mom... who, I know I told you guys I wasn't sure how deep I want to go into this, but she struggled with alcohol.
Sure.
And so I came home and I saw her once. We went to lunch, and I could tell that she was in a drinking phase, because she was in and out, you know, for basically my whole life. And I didn't realize this until I was in junior high, the undergrad school. I'm not sure. But I knew she was not in a good place. And then so I moved back in September. I saw her in October, and then she passed away. In December. So I only saw her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I only saw her, I think, one time. Damn. So I felt like God brought me home to see her one last time, and
man.
And it was wild because when she passed away, I was in medical sales, and I had a very large territory in Northern California. I had Northern California.
Right.
And I traveled training all over California and the country. And then I moved back to the Midwest, and I had all of Nebraska, all of Iowa,
right,
and all of South Dakota.
The fuck?
A lot of
I didn't think anybody
states.
lived in South Dakota.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Turns out there are a lot of people that live in, South Dakota, and a lot of them.
They needed you.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
There is, I mean, being in sales my whole life, anybody that has even some St. Louis or Kansas City, they're like, oh, by the way, you have Nebraska, Iowa, the Dakotas too.
You just throw it in
and
there.
They're like, okay, I'll just drive 8 to 12 hours from city to city because it's a lot of windshield time.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of like airports,
right,
that are where your big clients are.
Right.
And I moved back, right, and they give you a company car, and the guy before me had chose this blueberry blue Ford Edge.
Yes and amen. Little blueberry box car.
And I call him, I'm like,
Low
come
rider?
on, bro, like, why blueberry blue? Because I inherited that car, right?
It's funny.
And he's like, I don't know, I knew I was on my way out, and then I'm like, cool, thanks, bro, but whatever. It was a free car. They paid for gas. They paid, it's the golden handcuffs is what we call it. So anyway, I was driving to God knows where, past where my mom lives, to see a client. And I remember having this horrible feeling. And like I hadn't heard from my mom, but whatever. And I had a horrible feeling. And I started to call around like my aunt who she talks to and my stepdad. Because my stepdad had temporarily moved out, I think, because they're whatever.
Sure.
and no one had gotten a hold of her in a couple days. I'm on my way to see a client, and the neighbor went by and knocked and heard the dogs the dogs barking, and no one came to it, so they had to do a welfare check. And turns out she had passed away.
Oh.
Dang.
How old was she? You don't mind me
57.
asking. That is so young.
Yeah, it is. But
You have siblings?
just me. My mom and dad divorced when I was 3. Oof. She was actually in, a lot of people don't know this, but she was in rehab at the time when I was 3, because apparently she was drinking like a bottle of wine a night. Apparently they don't really recommend that. And so, yeah, when she came back, I think my dad was just like, I can't do this. So unfortunately, it's just me. Now my dad and my stepmom have had, I have a younger brother who's 6 years younger than me, and then a younger sister who's actually 12 and a half or 13 and a half years younger than me. So anyway, my mom, they did an autopsy and ultimately said she passed of a heart attack, but we know that she had been drinking because there were wine bottles everywhere. So, that was a bit traumatic. A little bit. I had just left California, where I felt like I blossomed and grew up and became an adult, and moved back to Nebraska and, lost my mom. And
I feel in your story, like it could be real, like it sounds like some lonely grief. Like you had to do this. It was you and her. I mean, she, I guess, had gotten, you had a stepdad that she was, but your siblings, it was your mom. Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah. And, I had already grieved our relationship, because when I realized that she was drinking, I remember her like slurring when I had friends over, and I was like, what the? And that's what I realized. And she would only drink at night, right? Like she was, and she had a job and worked in advertising, and but I just remember being so ashamed and so embarrassed.
Sure.
And even to this day, it's hard for me to talk about. I think I told you guys, like, sometimes I'm uncomfortable in, situations.
I mean, when we first talked on the phone, I didn't know if you would touch this. So I'm proud of you. I hope it.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing also. Like, this shit is hard. Like,
I think it's so many people that I hope hear this, because I was telling you about these ACA classes, or it's a 12-step group, really. They have sponsors and workbooks, and it's been really life-giving to the people I know that have gone to them. And then I think about my own mother, my grandparents, her parents were, full-blown alcoholics. And some of the, like, her life was protecting them and conflict avoidant, and always so like when I think about people that I hope are hearing you talk about this, first one that comes to mind. So thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so, and I think when we're all honest and vulnerable and authentic in who we are, it's how we help others. And I think God brought us to this earth. We all have a purpose. That's why we're here. And there's a lot of, heartbreak and sin and things that happen. And, the more we're honest about it, the more people can relate and know that you're not alone.
Sure.
We're not alone. And it can be very isolating when you grow up with an alcoholic parent or family member.
Right.
And it's hard to admit.
The big word you said was the shame. There's a place called Free Recovery in Denver who we learned really how to create underground from scratch in St. Louis. And their big motto, and it's a church for addicts and loved ones, spiritual refugees, they say. And they've the big light up sign is, we don't do shame. And we talked about it a week or two ago at URC. Like, I can do shame, Kira, you can do shame, Zoe, Kurt can do shame, but together collectively, like we can fight it. We can say no shame, and shame one-on-one can kick our ass pretty bad. But together as a community, by talking, being vulnerable and sharing authentically, I think is how you just tell shame to go fuck itself. Because it can be so debilitating. Really, it really can, and isolating. Like you said, you are isolated in it. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to tell people. I was ashamed. Sure. Everyone else's mom was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and as far as you knew, making pie, and you know what I mean. And I was at this divorced home, going back and forth, and alcohol was everywhere, and
you know, and I'm like, it just was a normal part of life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was probably my first, as an adult, my first like, whoa, like traumatic, you know, I
57 is
lost
so
my mom.
Really
young.
wasn't expecting that one.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't. So
Hard grief too.
very much
Unexpected.
so.
Did you how did your journey start from there? Because I always kind of subscribe to there's life before and then life after, and it's different when you lose a parent. There's no finish line to this grief journey. It's just it's a different life. So you were 30, early 30s.
27 maybe.
Okay.
28. I don't know. Late 20s.
Yeah, I was 28 when I lost my old man, and that was there was life before and life after. So, did you how like what was the next months and years like for you?
Yeah. So again, had already grieved our relationship and knowing that she wasn't healthy. And so I actually started running marathons and half marathons in California. I think that was somewhat of a coping mechanism for me.
I didn't go down that route. But
You didn't.
good to know. You know, I didn't run any marathons.
Yeah.
But
Like how
noted.
symbolic though, like
Sure.
running to like the edge of the country and then starting to run like marathons. It's like health and wellness avoidance. Like,
is it therapeutic for you?
It was. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I might have gone a little overboard. I ran like 75 half marathons.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like all over the country, like every single one you could run in California and then all over the country. And I would recruit people to run with me.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, you know, for me, it was my mental health. I wasn't seeing a therapist at the time, which would have been really valuable if I had just dug in, you know,
Right. Well,
really dug in while my brain was finishing up being completely formed. Because let's talk about it, people. Your brain's not completely formed until you're in their mid to late 20s. Am I right?
I
hope.
later
Yeah.
for me. I think I was on the later end of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I'm hoping that the brain just keeps forming.
I think you're right.
Neuroplasticity is
Correct.
what I cling to when I think of.
Well, and every time something happens to us, we learn and
Sure.
grow. And
Right. The brain never stops forming.
Exactly,
Everyone. The
yeah.
frontal lobe, however.
I did think I knew everything when I was drunk in 20s. Drunk in my 20s. I knew it all.
Of course.
That's so funny. If like early in my 20s when I would get blackout drunk, like the 4 times I did it, every time I was like, I don't know shit. Nobody can expect me to.
You leaned into
Very
it.
much the opposite.
That's a good. That lean into it. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not supposed to yet.
You should stay away from this one.
Oh, funny. Yeah. So funny.
So running was your thing.
It was, yeah. And I did a little dabble in triathlons, which was a blast. And
Remind me what the other two
Bike, run.
Swim, bike, run.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do it from most
Yikes.
dangerous to least dangerous in case you pass out.
Okay, so swim first.
Swim first, yes. That would be the most
Sure.
dangerous. And open water swim is very different than swimming in a pool.
Really?
Just a little FYI.
hard.
I've heard of rip tides.
Huh? Well, those happen in the ocean.
Okay,
Yeah, I
got it. Noted.
I've heard of riptides.
I've heard of that song, Riptide by
Yeah.
Dance Joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Believe it or not, I'm not a
Love this
runner,
story.
nor am I a swimmer.
Well,
I can stay
it's
up.
never too late.
He
Sure.
played hockey, and I can't believe he hasn't mentioned it yet.
You people in hockey.
Did you have
Holy
Chris Pronger on your podcast?
Smokes. I had Chris and Lauren Pronger on my
Okay,
podcast.
that's-
Yes, and I've had Cam
Flex.
Jansen. I've had Reed Lowe.
All right.
Those are my peeps.
So Cam is a regular on this show and a good friend of
he?
mine, and I can't wait to text him that you were on.
gonna
Yes,
have to.
and Cam's gonna get mad at me because I fanboyed Chris Pronger, but don't care that Cam was on the show.
That's hilarious.
But I do, Cam. Chill out.
You're the
Hi,
best.
He is
Cam,
he
I
is
mean,
all offense.
Yeah, everybody
instant.
loves Cam. I
He
mean,
is-
he's the best.
How could you not?
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, he comes out here about once a quarter and talks to clients. You know, he battled pain pills hard in the league,
Yeah.
and he loves. I get just on his own Will loves to come out and hang out with people that are day 0 to 30 because, I mean, you just want to give back when you've it's really a demon. And so he's really got a passion for people that have battled or battling addiction and stuff. So.
Yeah. He's a great guy, and kudos to him for giving back because it's so easy to fall into victimhood.
Sure.
Right. And that's something that as a widow, we talk about a lot of times is, it is easy to fall into victimhood, but there's on the other, flip the coin, you can really turn your pain into purpose. It's an opportunity. And they actually, recently I've learned that oftentimes people who have been through big T traumas, have more joy and more appreciation for life.
Yeah. Adversity increases resilience by
boom.
A lot of percents.
It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
When my whole world was my old man and he died at 28 from a heart attack and cocaine-induced heart attack.
So sorry.
And for 2 years I was done, and it was a pity party of jugs of whiskey until, by the grace of God, I went to treatment. And now, to your point, the purpose, we're launching a nonprofit in his name, and some of your story is a complete encouragement for that.
Awesome.
So the way you've been able to, in relatively infant years of a grief journey, because it hasn't been that long, correct?
Yes, my husband died of pancreatic cancer April 3rd of 2023. So
it's just hit 3 years.
We just hit 3 years. In fact, I launched a campaign to raise another $1 million on his 3rd-year anniversary. And it's the final million of, not final, but it's a long story. You want me to go there?
Yeah, it's up to you. Go back to the triathlon.
Yes. So after my mom passed, yes, I did sign up for another marathon. It just helped me keep my mind off of things, and I loved following the training schedule.
Sure.
4 miles this day, 4.5 this day. I loved that structure.
Good structure.
And then I had just taken a new job, so dug deep into that, and that whole next year just kind of I don't know what just happened to my life. Complete 180. And then I had actually talked to a consultant when I lived in Northern California, was into all that racing, about potentially opening an indoor cycling studio in Northern California.
Okay.
Or Nebraska, because I was trying to recruit my best friend to come on in with me. Which hindsight would have not been a good idea.
Sure.
The Nebraska Bike Club?
The best friend business partner.
Yeah. That too.
I'm so sorry. It's a great idea. And I hope one day it works.
No. We'll get into that. So I thought it was a good idea. Okay, so moved back to Nebraska, took a new job. My mom passes away. The whole next year, I'm like, what just happened?
Right.
Yeah.
After that year, I'm like, okay, let's do this. Shake it all off. So
Good for you.
Good for me, or maybe not so good for me.
We did it anyway.
Thought you shook it off.
Yeah, I thought I shook it off. Turns out that's not what happens. Right. That's not how it works.
You can run as many marathons as you want.
Still there. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing a therapist in Nebraska and just not connecting and just being like, this is lame. How did we bury her? And you know what I mean? Just
God.
I remember talking about details and being like,
what the hell?
I gotta go. I gotta go.
That's not part of the intake session.
Yeah, sure isn't. Not supposed to be. We didn't connect. And I think it is important to find a therapist that you connect with.
I agree.
Have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
And I am a huge advocate of therapy. My children are already in therapy. They're very young.
Incredible.
But processing and verbalizing and yeah, it's all super relevant and super important.
You're so right about the connection piece too. Mm-hmm. And what I tell people, and I learned this getting sober, is that if the first therapist you guys don't connect, doesn't mean therapy's not for you.
Correct.
You go to the next one.
Yeah,
go to the next
maybe
one.
Isn't for them.
You'll find the person.
Exactly. Some therapists aren't great therapists.
Sure.
It is insane going through social work school and seeing some of these hoes try to.
God, she's gonna go off. All right.
It's just insane when you're in school with people who you know are going to be bad therapists.
Yes.
It's like you guys are writing the right stuff, but
Right. They're going into therapy because they, in fact, need therapy.
Probably need. Yeah.
But the point, the important, I think, messages to people is you will. I think finally you got to keep getting back on the bike and finding a therapist. Yeah. Well,
if you want something to work out,
sure.
you have to make sure the relationship is cohesive and you feel
100%.
seen and heard and comfortable. Like,
And
you
and
don't
there,
have to-
even every good therapist isn't for everybody. Like it's like psychotropic. You know, Wellbutrin might work for
Yeah, that's
you,
a
but
good way
not
to put it.
Yes.
not
Less
me.
dating, more.
Well, dating's
Fine.
you
Dating
got
works.
the
Dating
BP,
works.
got the guy at the gas station attending a BP, or anyway.
It wasn't a BP.
It's not about her. Quick
He
trip.
makes fun of me. The cutest boys work at gas stations. He doesn't believe me.
I need to get gas after this. You recommend a place?
She's got a Moto Mart down on Main
got
Street.
one?
Actually, recently was ruined for me, so I wouldn't recommend
Okay.
it, but we can move on.
I'll stay away from the gas station attendants.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm not even sure where we were.
So you-
But,
but-
yeah. I remember. Here I am.
I wander a lot, and I apologize.
No, it's fine. It's fine because I'm now. We'll go into that. But my brain is firing on all cylinders now. There was a while when it wasn't.
Sure.
But so that year passed, and I decided that I was going to open an indoor cycling studio. So I had been working with so someone who owned a company called Spinergy, where he helped individuals open up their private indoor cycling studios.
Damn.
I know. So his name was Bill Pryor.
Shout out
And
Bill Pryor.
called Bill Pryor up and was like, hey, remember, about a year and a half ago when I was in Northern California and wanted to open a cycling studio? Well, now I do. And I'm actually back in Nebraska, option B. And he was like, well, you need to talk to St. Gregory's Group now because they have franchised my business.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. So then someone from Cycle Bar calls me or St. Gregory's Group and tells me that they are creating Cycle Bar, which is similar to Flywheel or Soul Cycle. If you guys are familiar, you guys are looking at me like you're not
Soul
familiar.
Cycle is what I'm familiar. I was just thinking about how they always come up with the catchiest names for like
they
biking.
sure do. Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah. So
I've heard of Soul Cycle.
yeah, I was really passionate about it. There's something special about being in a dark room, going really fast on a bike that goes nowhere. That's very
Up
therapeutic.
the resistance, ladies. Up
Yeah,
the resistance.
you know it.
Come on.
Is that what I was going to
damn.
ask you earlier? That's what an indoor cycling studio is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like probably. Well, I guess it depends on the size, but like, how many per room for you? I've been to one where there's like maybe 12 bikes in there.
Yeah, and then there's some. I think there was 50 was the bikes. How many bikes we were projecting?
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm like, you know what? I'm in. So I signed on the
Hell
very first
yeah.
day. Well, they flew me down to Cincinnati, Ohio, and fancy hotel and wine and dine, and they want you to sign on to their franchise. And I did. The first day it was a go. I wired my money in and was ready. I literally was the sixth person to get my money to them.
Nice. You were ready.
Ready. I'm ready. I'm like, this is my purpose in life. I'm
She's
going to
been
help
cooking.
people. Yes, this is happening. My life savings. Let's just put it in an indoor cycling studio. That seems like a great idea. I was still working my
Girl
medical
math.
sales job. Girl math. Exactly. I'm going to use that. Girl math.
Oh, don't encourage her.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I'm in. I'm all in. # girl math.
Got it.
An amen.
And so I'm like, all right, life's good. So I'm emotionally, attached, financially attached.
You're in.
I'm in.
Passion
There was
project.
no indoor cycling studio. Well, there was one way out west, but I'm like, all right, let's do this. So we start everything. I find get an attorney. I find a place to, looked at several different locations, found one, signed an LOI. I'm ready to, do construction.
And you're doing this all on your own.
all on my
That's
own.
baller.
Because she's been doing hard shit all on her own.
Truly.
for
Can't stop,
too
won't
long.
stop. Yeah.
Truly.
So, and all the meanwhile, right, I'm getting, different projections and emails, and they present at the beginning when you sign in, this is about what we think it's going to cost. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I could do that. As we went on, well, in a startup franchise, I'm going to let you all know. From 1 to 10, so you sign up first all the way to, number 10, there's some wiggle room, really, and so it's a learning process.
Yeah.
And
Can only imagine.
Yep. And turns out, I remember that very last call I had with them, I had a spreadsheet in front of me, and I was talking to someone on the phone, and I'm looking at the spreadsheet, and I'm like this is we're about to put a nail in the wall and start going. And I'm like, what's that number you see on G32? Because he was like dancing around, and I'm like,
They always do.
yeah, triple the amount
Damn.
of what they initially projected.
Really?
Did they like fuck you like on purpose? Is that what they do, or did they just not know?
if anybody from St. Gregory's group or Cycle Bar is listening, please don't sue me, okay? It's okay. So it's been a long time.
Sure.
And
statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Right?
So
mislead might be the.
Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
they did it on purpose.
Well, no, but I mean, it's a sale. Like they have salespeople trying to get you to sign on to this franchise. So I just, as a sole owner, was not going to literally spend my entire life savings.
And those are the startup costs, Kira?
In the first 3 months of operating. And I had to make money. I had to have all 50 bikes, classes all day full.
Day one?
I mean,
that's how they lay it out.
Yeah,
They're not telling you that this is going to take a year to get going.
And it's intoxicating when you're in there and in the class. I mean, there's lights. It's amazing.
Yep.
You know, the instructor's like this super model person, you know. And so anyway, I ended up pulling out. My parents are attorneys, so I had some help.
I love that.
Thank goodness. So do I. They've helped me.
Thank God.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I've got some wise people on my side.
I mean, first it starts with you though, because you're pretty far in, and to get to see that and say, I just don't have that. I would have
You don't
personally.
have that dog in him. He would have
I've
kept
lost so much money in small business. I would have been like, okay, we got to do it. I'm too far in. That is so brave. And admirable.
Well, thank you.
I'm serious, man. To be that far in and see that G32
Yeah.
sell and bring it up, let alone say, whoa, we didn't talk about this.
Well, and they like dance. The person I was talking to, I remember, I don't know whether it was St. Gregory's group or what it was, but I just remember them they were avoiding my question about how the number that I was reading. I'm like, is there a typo or is this truly the projected cost of? So I did pull out. Now, in the meantime, I had met my husband.
Okay.
Obviously, was my husband at the time. But I met him and was talking with him. And I didn't pull out because of him, but I believe God presented, you know, everything happens. I believe God's in charge. Okay. So I pulled out. Thank God. Because that is a tough business. There have been a lot of cycle bars that have opened. Some are successful, but I think maybe 4 of the 5 of them have closed here in St. Louis. Now, there was a couple that did open a cycle bar a year or 2 after I pulled out. They were extremely successful. It was both of their full-time jobs. They killed it with marketing. I remember talking with them, Dwight and Emily. They were awesome humans, and they did really well. Now it's a different studio now. They pulled away from Cycle Bar, but it goes to show you it was successful. It was successful for them, but as a sole business owner, I just wasn't willing to put my head on the line.
Hell yeah, boundaries.
Oh yeah,
that's what I mean. That is so.
Boundaries.
Whoa.
I mean, like as an adult, I remember being like,
I'm sorry.
Hell yeah,
boundaries. Right. Like,
you
what
mean
are those?
I don't have to fulfill every person's expectation.
Yeah.
Oh,
mind blown.
Yeah.
Were you up to this point a people pleaser?
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, I was
That's a big ACA thing.
I was type A. Oh yeah. I mean, but I remember like bending over backwards so everyone else was uncomfortable, even if I wasn't. I'm like, I can do it.
And so
absolutely,
put this is. I mean, I'm telling you, this is fucking heroic to me that you, with that background and that kind of makeup, were able to not sign on the dotted line for this, because it's almost the people pleaser that says, I can't disappoint these people. That they're going to be disappointed in me if I don't commit and go all in on. And that is a real. So well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. I was emotional. Like I said, I was truly signed on. I was ready to go all in. But again, I come from a family of attorneys, and I was consulting with them, and so smart. And they're just like, this probably isn't the best business decision. And I'm like, well, it's probably not. So I pulled out, and it was hard, but I, worked through it, and I lost a little bit of money, not a lot, which is good, but it was a good lesson.
Sure.
And it's so funny because I also signed on, this is ridiculous, to finish my MBA. I'm like, you know what? It's easy online. Ugh. I'll just manage my full-time job.
Right.
Finish my MBA. Yeah. It's fine. I'll open a studio. No. They sent me the syllabus and all the books. And I emailed them like, I can't do it. Pull out.
Another why, like.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Paid for everything. I was like, I'm going to finish my MBA. Again, my mom had passed. I'm like, what? I got to really just
keep stuffing those feelings down and
keep stuffing them down and keep achieving.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Because if you achieve enough, you don't have to feel anything.
Exactly. Yes.
To bargain.
Yeah. With your own self.
Sure.
So then Kyle and I started talking, and he lived in St. Louis, and I was in Omaha, and I remember when we started talking.
How?
Okay, so
these two are single, and they love talking about the apps. So the how is a big
I
question.
don't love talking about.
I don't know if anybody loves the apps.
Ugh.
I don't love talking about the apps, but I'm
I love hearing about them. Maybe as a
genuinely
married guy.
so curious about how people make relationships
Okay.
work, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
I love hearing about
And the
it.
apps make for great like human case studies.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I like talk. I actually like listening about the apps because it wasn't a thing.
back in your day.
Well, when they came out, I was getting out of treatment.
Exactly.
Quiet.
We're probably the same. I'm 41. How old are you?
42.
Okay, we're the same age.
I was clocking 07 and graduating college
Yeah.
to without asking your age. I
He's
was
just very
clocking it.
sensitive
It's
about
fine.
not asking women their age. It's like the one thing he won't do.
That's very kind.
The apps were big right as I got out of rehab, and some girls that were like sisters to me were like, "We got to get you on the apps." After I was 6 months sober, and I'm like, "What am I supposed to put? I just got out of treatment.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't lie on dating apps.
No.
I guess
Forever.
people do that.
I was gonna say I
And
thought
they
that was
do.
a prerequisite at this point.
Sure. So I'm like, and I think they got me on the eHarmony thing for about 5 minutes, and it just wasn't my thing. But
Yeah.
now there's
You
like,
didn't love eHarmony?
I just was like, I'm gonna keep chasing this coked up bartender, and then I realized
That's a
that
good
is a
idea.
different. I'm not in that pond anymore. I need to get to a different pond. So then I met this girl at church, and she couldn't keep her hands off me, and all. I'm just kidding.
And here you are.
She was Ashley's intern at. That's how we met. So
I love that.
Yeah.
If I didn't know Ashley before I met Chris, I don't think there was a world where I would be in this chair.
Okay.
Truly.
Yeah.
You know?
She's the yin to my yang. And
I love that.
but so when I hear app stories, and she said how, I am fascinated by some of the, and even Ashley had to do the apps when she moved to St. Louis, and it's just wild hearing some stories. But
Ashley on
back
the
to you
apps.
and Kyle.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
Okay, so he never wanted to be truthful, and here's why. So when I lived in Northern California, I was living in the Silicon Valley. Everyone was on the apps and on websites. They weren't apps back then, I don't think. I don't think I ever got on when I was in Northern California. But when I came back to Omaha, my friends were like, "Hey, Kira, my brother's still single," and I'm like, "I'm not interested in the still single brothers. Thank you."
Right.
Though.
And I'm still not interested.
Yeah, still
Thank you.
20 years later. No. And so I'm like, all right, I'll go on eHarmony and see what's out there. And it was horrible.
Yeah.
I think I
See,
wanted
I told you eHarmony sucked.
3 different dates. And I was just like, I finally was
Really?
like, I'm out. This is ridiculous. Like one guy was like this new dermatologist, drove this like super fancy car. And I'm like, get that out of my face.
Really?
And at this point.
A doctor with a fancy car, and you were like, no, red
But I
heart.
mean, he like just finished puberty. And,
Zoe
and-
wants his number.
I mean, there's no way he had already made hundreds of
Got it.
thousands
so
of dollars.
he's just like deeply in debt.
I don't know. All I know is I was like, there's no way you. Yes.
You're like very intuitive.
Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
want to like recognize, put that out
Thank
there.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So I was like, this is for the birds. Forget it. Like, I'll just be single and
Forever. Just going to be single
Yeah.
forever.
I just have
Got
lots
it.
of really good friends. And
Yes and amen.
yeah. So, but your profile still stays active. And at this point, I want to point out, I also was making enough money that I would have been able to support a family in the Midwest. So I wasn't looking for somebody who was extremely successful. And all I cared about was that the person was passionate about what they did. Like, I was like, even if it's a gym teacher, God, like,
Yeah.
as long as they're passionate about what they do, like, we will make it work.
Sure.
Right. And so anyway, Kyle worked at a financial firm and he had been there a long time and didn't want his, fellow coworkers to know he was on, a
Really?
dating website. And so he actually found me on eHarmony and started messaging me, and I'm like, who is this guy? You know, and like all his pictures were like him with sunglasses holding a fish, you know. Oh yeah. And I'm like,
Two huge red flags.
who is this mountain man?
Oh, Mountain Man, that's funny.
Yeah, in St. Louis. Yeah.
Got a just picture of him and his trout.
Everybody in Missouri.
Yeah. So we kept talking, and he was very mature. I remember being like, oh, and we like started texting, and like we would have emoji conversations. It sounds so ridiculous, but they were just hilarious.
I think it's sweet.
And we were both like that. Yeah. So, and then he like actually picked up the phone one day and called me on the way home from work, and I was like,
Terrifying.
he's calling. What do I?
How do we talk on the phone?
What? And so we actually like had conversations and got to know why.
And you're in Omaha.
I'm in Omaha, and I did, Kyle, rest in peace. I was kind of seeing somebody in Omaha at the time.
Screaming. Hey, you can't let your boyfriend keep you from finding your husband.
Right. Exactly.
Nice.
I've been said that. Yes.
Exactly.
Shout out Hannah.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, who I was like had a total crush on, but Kyle and I kept talking and getting to know each other. It was really magical. And I was flying up to Minnesota. I had trained somebody. Actually, the person that I trained, it's her family member that I was started to see because she like hooked us up.
So you're doing personal training?
No, I mean like training in medical I was training
at
her.
work.
She was
Got
brand
it.
new to the job,
Okay.
so I was training her on the job.
Okay.
And so, anywho, he was also at the Minneapolis airport because he was an area leader at the time, and he came running to me.
Running. I love airport
Because he
romance.
like saw you and just wrecked.
He was like, we knew we were going to be at the airport at the same time. So he ran G9, Delta G9. He ran, and we met in person and talked. And I remember being like, wow, this guy's really serious about this. He's like sweating, had this suit on.
He likey.
Really breathing.
Yeah. I'm like, cool.
This is a movie scene, Kira.
I know. And so we told people for the longest time. In fact, I don't think his family knows, but they probably will know now. I don't know.
Nobody listens to this anymore.
We watch this go
Right.
viral.
Mom, it won't just be you anymore.
Yeah. They're like, hey, Kira, would you mind being a spokesperson for eHarmony? I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, so right now, Kurt's dad and Zoe's mom Elaine are our listener, our biggest listeners.
Oh, they are. Hi.
They love the show.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Sure.
And Ellen, actually.
And Ellen, she is a big.
Ellen,
She definitely thinks we need to do some sprucing up with the decorating, which she's
does
right.
she? Oh, sweet Aunt Ellen.
Yes,
Is she gonna fund the redecoration?
That was my question, right?
No
yeah.
red heart.
Okay.
We're gonna find a sponsor one day that
Yes.
can get us some paint.
Oh
but
yeah. Oh
paint
yeah.
sponsor. So I gotta hear this. So he runs up to you.
Yes, and he's we like whatever talk, give each other a hug. I don't know, and then I get on my airplane and he goes to and again like I'm like seeing this other guy and I'm like, yeah, you're great, but you live in St. Louis.
Right.
Well, as we talked, he was like, well, I'm not married to St. Louis, and again at the time I was opening a cycle bar. Just bought a condo. My family was there. I'm like, I'm going to be in Omaha for a while, for the foreseeable future. He's like, I'm not married to St. Louis. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, I'm sure. I'm like, okay. So we kept talking.
St. Louis is such a marriable city too. Wouldn't you? I mean, you'd never leave St. Louis, right, Kurt?
Hotel California.
It's like, see you later.
Yeah. So turns out he was married to his company, not necessarily St. Louis. So, but we did keep talking, and we met in Kansas City on our first date and went out to dinner and had like.
That's the halfway point.
It sure
of
is.
Omaha
Well,
and St. Louis.
a little further for him,
Right.
which is appropriate,
As it should be.
As it should be. And I made, we got separate hotel rooms, and
Ooh.
oh yeah, girl.
And
Exactly. I
good for you, and and good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kyle was extremely intelligent, well-spoken, well-traveled. He was successful in
Gentleman.
his career. He was a gentleman. Yeah, right? Never married.
eHarmony?
Never married before. And I'm like, so what's wrong?
Right, where's there's a red flag. What's in the closet? Yeah.
So anyway, we had a blast, and he was like, all right, well, I want, I'd like to see you again. And I'm like, sure. Why not?
I'd want to see me again, too.
So Kansas City is the.
Yeah.
Do we still have the Omaha boyfriend?
I was still talking to them.
Not
Not a
boyfriend.
boyfriend. Definitely not
No
a boyfriend.
contracts
Guys
involved.
never
I
get
get
that.
it.
Yeah, no. We weren't like public, yeah. So anyway,
Not
but
not on a Facebook relationship official.
no, definitely not. Definitely not. So we continued to talk, and Omaha guy drifted out of the the equation, the picture, and all of a sudden Kyle was visiting me and bringing my favorite wine from Northern California.
Nice.
Oh, he courted
Good
me
man.
hard. Yeah. He knew what he wanted. I mean, he was a little bit older, not too much older than I was,
Well,
but
yeah. And how old are you at this time?
approaching 30,
Okay. And he was.
approaching 40. Oh,
Okay.
he was 40, yeah.
See, this is the shit that everybody tells you happens in your 20s. No.
I do firmly believe that 30 is the new 20 when it comes to
too.
marrying.
Again, your brain's not fully formed. Between 20 and 30, I always tell this to people. This is my own opinion, right? But I believe so much, between 20 and 30, you really become yourself. It's when you're becoming an adult, you learn about yourself. You start to hopefully, get deeper into your career, maybe make a little money, maybe start
Right.
traveling
Make
a little
some
bit.
mistakes.
Make some mistakes.
Without having, truly damaging someone.
I was engaged to a stripper in my 20s.
Yeah, see?
Mistakes.
Exactly.
God bless her.
God bless that stripper.
But maybe you may be one of the pearls of wisdom you offered that it was really good out of the many. But each year in your 20s is like a decade. Like you almost are so much different from 22 to 23 to 23 to 24.
Take credit for that. That was my saving grace in St. Louis. My first friend, she's 10 years older than I am, and we hung out at the dog park every day with our dogs.
Yeah.
Candace.
Yeah.
Okay. She says this is her pearl of wisdom?
Well, that's who told me.
Got it. Sure. But it does make so much sense.
Yeah.
I
Every
agree
year
with
your
both of
20s
what you're
is a
saying.
Decade.
Yeah,
And it's
that makes sense.
It really does. Every year I get older.
Yes, you learn so much about yourself.
Insane that I couldn't learn before and probably couldn't learn after, I guess, in the same way.
Nobody taught you that, huh, Kurt?
What's that?
Your 20s.
You learned so
When did you
much.
get married?
30,
Oh,
31,
still
something
31.
like that.
Okay.
Well, men are different.
Not
So
to dog
men-
on you.
I think men take a
I deserve it.
little bit longer to mature. Just saying, maybe.
Truly.
I don't know.
I'm still working
Just
on
a
You
it.
little
and
bit.
We're
That.
we both are.
No offense, gentlemen, but
So
Every boy should be held back in kindergarten for an extra year, and I'll lay it there.
leave that on the table.
wow. And but this is so I mean I have a 12-year-old, you have kids, you got to make mistakes and try to fail forward through your 20s. I'm a
Fail
big
forward, absolutely.
fan of
Yeah.
that.
And those of you that get married in your early 20s, Godspeed, and you'll grow together, right?
Pray hopefully.
Yes, pray. But, more than 50% of marriages don't make it, and the facts are the facts. And so, yeah, again, us with the girl math, right?
I'm saying ball don't lie.
I'm crowdsourcing here. What's the national average for the age of people to get married for the first time?
I don't know. It's probably way different now than it was.
Because I feel like and this could be completely off, but I feel like St. Louis tends to marry younger. Do you think that's the case?
I think I would imagine than coastal because we're always
Yes.
behind, but it used to be the 17 and 18 you'd be getting married. My grandma and stuff were that age and now I do think that people are getting married. I think it's gotten older than obviously that, but I don't think it's anywhere near 30.
Yeah, and I think too, like we said, a lot of people do move back home. St. Louis people love St. Louis.
We sure
St.
do.
Louis is for the locals.
Yeah.
Been saying.
People.
What high school did you go to?
Exactly.
That's the question.
Oh my God.
How many
crap.
times do you get it?
So, not all that often.
Because she's from Decatur, Illinois, so not St. Louis, but it's that's the thing.
Oh, I know.
I've heard I've lived in St. Louis for 3-ish, maybe 4 years. I don't know, math. But it's the most consistent.
Isn't it
social
hilarious?
interaction.
So where did you go to high school so I can judge you?
Right, yeah. 'cause it's
100%.
all apparently about class. It's
It is. And where you grew up and then
Sorry,
right
Fox.
away.
Seckman, thank
Oh,
you.
sorry, my bad. See? Oops.
Maybe worse than Fox, but still, just get it right.
Don't care. It's correct.
In Arnold.
Yeah.
Oh, she knows.
So here's why. I went to school at Missouri State. So my dad drew a circle around the map and was like, pick your school. He wanted me to go to Winona State where my parents met. And I was like, I am not going to be colder. I don't like the winter.
I feel like they've made the tournament before.
Winona
the
State?
Yeah.
Maybe.
the only reason I've heard of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where is it?
I don't know. Somewhere up there.
Up cold.
Yeah,
Okay, got
in
it.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
and I
done.
should know, right? My
Don't
mom's
shit on yourself.
My mom's from there. So I went as far south as I could go because my dad's like, we're not paying for plane tickets for you to go to school. I'm like, okay, cool. So
I'm telling you, I don't mind the method here of where you're going to school. If it's in a circle radius where that's drivable for parents to go visit.
yeah. Well, and also me to come home.
Sure.
And
That's fair.
Yeah. We had friends that had gone there. SMS just made the College World Series. And so I was like, cool.
Go Bears.
Let's try it. Go Bears. And so anyway, and it is a little bit warmer down there than it is in Omaha. Not a ton, but so Missouri State was packed full of St. Louisans, and so I know where all my friends went to high school.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
All of them.
So you know about Arnold.
Oh yeah, I do. One of my sorority sisters was from Arnold, went to Fox.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sorority.
Delta Zeta. Yes.
Brooke was a Tri-Delt. Diamonds.
At Missouri State?
Yeah, for 2 years. She went to Missouri.
Tri-Delt.
She's 10 years
Sigma?
younger than me.
Okay. I'm like, because I don't even know if we had Tri-Delt.
It was what they did, like the downtown area in Springfield was really cool. And then we are Table Rock. We like to go to Table Rock once a summer. I'm not an Ozarks guy. A lot of people at the lake this weekend, Kurt.
That's what I hear. I was a Table Rock guy growing up too.
I heard you say that
we
this
never
morning.
did Lake of the Ozarks.
What they call it on your radio show today? Lake Dysentery?
Lake Dysentery, yeah. They said Party Cove is like a floating diaper.
It is. It's disgusting.
Are you a lake girl?
Not anymore.
If you
Not anymore.
live by the ocean, I just
Sure.
don't think you could probably be a lake girl.
You can't go back.
You're right.
It's one of those things. But I did spend some time at the Lake of the Ozarks, with my friends
Got it.
Shady gator
from
action.
college and Party Cove. And I actually worked downtown Springfield at the piano bar.
Okay.
Yep.
yeah.
Started as a shot girl.
Oh, just carrying them around.
Then became a waitress, and then this is a little lesson too, people. Worked my way from the bottom to the top because I started bussing when I didn't have tables. I would help the bartenders do dishes.
Yes.
What do you know? A bartending position came open, and
That's who got it.
You already knew how to do the hardest part.
I didn't have a training. They just one busy night were like, go for it. So I remember making
That's
shots.
like your thing.
It is my thing.
Go for it.
It is my thing. Go big or go home. Yes. That is my motto, apparently.
Sometimes both.
Yep.
I love it.
And so I was making my first shot, and I didn't put it over ice and shake it. I was just pouring the liquor into the shot
Nice.
glasses. And at the end of the night, the owner or whatever, the manager was like, "Here, come here."
Yeah, you're giving away the product.
Yeah.
here.
He had me take one of the warm alcohol. I'm like, that is disgusting. He's like, yeah, you put it in a shaker with ice. I'm like, well, that would have been good to know before I started my
Thanks for
first.
telling me, big dog.
Before you threw me into the wolves.
Thanks for the training.
Yeah. But
Did you hit it hard in college?
I sure did.
Okay.
Sorry, mom and dad. Well,
Oh.
dad. My stepmom.
Fair.
Sorry. No, I think they probably knew. Yeah, I did. I had a great time. Yes, I had a great time.
My sister had a blast at and then I know some other people that went to Springfield and graduated, and they loved it.
I loved it.
The rural part of the community of Springfield, some of them were a little bit, but they stayed on campus and loved it. Yeah.
I honestly had totally a God thing. I met some amazing people. The opportunities there. I was on the board of all the things, and
So you did go big or go home to win college.
I
Good
sure
for you.
did. Yep, sorority, business fraternity, women in business. I mean,
Nice.
Go on and on and on. I got very involved, and the people are so amazing. Like, I'm friends with so many people.
My next question is
Yeah.
your tribe.
And it's so funny because when I moved here, Kyle was like, you have a bigger network than I do. I'm like, I went to school at Missouri State, and
Right.
we had a phenomenal class, and all of us had a blast.
Are you
And
still friends with the girl from Arnold?
yes,
I'm just kidding.
Jessie Kohut.
Shout out, Jess.
No shit.
You know her?
I do.
She was my.
Is she single still?
Nope, married.
Oh.
She's a riot.
Are you trying to hurt
I
cut
think
up?
she's sober now, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I want to say she's sober now, but she is a riot.
Mm-hmm.
I was kidding, by the way, about the Arnold thing. I just like to chirp because Kurt's from Arnold.
It's a lot of, it's small area. Everybody
Yeah.
kind of has at least heard of everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we had our Venn diagram of friends might have had a little overlap from time to time.
Okay.
But I remember that name.
Yeah, you didn't date her though.
I did not.
Okay.
That's why. Okay, good
Yeah.
stuff. So we're still clear.
Are you our age? How old are you?
40.
Yeah.
I was class of 03 for high school.
Same. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So was Jessie.
Stop. Don't even. Don't even enter the equation.
Why?
Because she was born in the year 2000.
Oh.
I like it. It makes
yes.
telling my age to others very easy.
Yeah.
I never forget.
It's a pretty
how old
easy
I am
garage.
past February 14th.
It's an easy garage code and password. Sorry to just tell everybody. You're gonna need to change your passwords after the show drops.
I don't have a garage.
I'll bleep it out.
I mean, it's just my birthday. All the real fans already know.
Are we millennials?
I don't know. I think maybe on the cusp.
Yeah.
I think technically we are, but I don't like to lump myself in with that one.
Closer to the.
Very millennial of you to say.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the millennials might be like 83 to 93, and
see, we're on the cusp.
Don't put me together with Brooke, my sister, who's a 93 and I'm an 83.
What are you? What is it?
I
2000.
don't even have a term.
Gen Z?
Gen Z, baby.
Yeah,
Gen
girl.
Zoe. I did see something, though, that was like anyone born between 1999 and 2002 is just generation fucked. And
Nice.
I was like,
Fair.
Cool.
Remember when we thought that when the clock struck 12 in 2000, all the computers were shutting
Oh, yeah.
down? And
Y2J.
and instead it was just...
A glorious
1201.
year
Yeah,
because you
getting
came
ready
into the
for
world.
Big C.
Getting ready for
poor
you.
Peggy.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 1984.
I think I was pretty... I think I saved a lot of good times.
Sure.
Well, you know what I always tell people? I'm like, so how I learned to type? Those computers had like a black and then green,
Yeah.
and people are like, I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
No, actually,
For
it's
real.
like I was like coding, but I was just trying to like
Correct.
spell.
We were the early coders.
I do remember that, and then like it would do your words per minute
Yeah.
in probably like computer class in like 4th and 5th grade is when they'd
words
have
a
like a
minute.
typing.
And you probably played a little Oregon Trail in elementary school
Oh,
on the
yeah.
old computers.
Speaking of dysentery,
there you go, full circle.
Can lose a lot of people to dysentery and Oregon.
What was
Trail.
the yoke when you had to fix the yoke on the wagon? Do you
I don't
know?
I probably always died. I would overhunt. And I don't like hunting, but I would overhunt. I would also just shoot everything inside, get in trouble. But back to Kyle,
Yes.
Anyway.
the gentleman.
Small detour.
Kyle would show up to Omaha
Yeah.
with a favorite bottle of Northern Cal wine, that's smooth.
Yeah. Oh, he was smooth.
I got Ashley a bottle of California Cab, California Oranges, and California Almonds on our first birthday she had. That was kind of her gifts, and I thought that was fucking kind of smooth. So Kyle and I,
Super smooth.
she thought it was great, but then she found out it was kind of my go-to. Like the girl I was dating before, I got her like Wisconsin cheese, Wisconsin honey, Wisconsin.
Oh my god, fucker. Okay, can you keep going?
It's definitely lost its lore. It was great until
That's
she found out that
That's so annoying.
it's a good move.
When you have a good move, you don't.
Yeah, no.
If it
Why,
ain't broke.
why reinvent the wheel?
No.
if I'm good with the 7-iron, I'm gonna play it.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I think that's...
courses.
Yeah, it's fine. So yes, and then eventually I started visiting him, and then all of a sudden we found ourselves wanting to see each other every weekend, and so we dated like that for a year, and then we got engaged.
Still long distance.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wouldn't move until we got engaged, and for those, I'm going to keep that little tidbit to
All right.
myself. But I don't recommend personally moving in with somebody before getting a ring, because I know a lot of people that did that and are still not engaged or married 10, 20 years later. Just saying.
Ah, okay.
Why buy the cow if you get the milk for free?
Damn.
That really packs a punch too if you're from Omaha. Like that's
And my husband's family, they're cattle ranchers.
got it. Yeah, so
Yeah,
definitely.
and so for those of
That's
you
not
that,
just a saying, that's a way of life.
Yep. And if you did or are going to move in without a ring, that's totally fine. Totally.
Sure.
You do you.
Right.
You do you. It was just my philosophy. So I wasn't going to move without a ring. I mean, I was going to have to give up my whole life.
Yeah.
Right? My
A little
career, my
commitment, yeah.
family. I had bought a condo, like all the things.
And like in your early 20s, maybe would have been really easy and fun to be like swept away like that. But
Yeah.
now you're 30 and you're like, that's fucking stupid.
Right. And I'm a baked human. Like I'm an
Yeah.
adult
Right.
at this point that I have a life.
Your frontal lobe is developed.
Correct.
How did he propose?
Oh, this is so sweet. So we went to Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah, we planned
That's a good city to propose
little
at.
weekend there, and he had mentioned towards the end of 15, he was like, "Yeah, I mean, of course we're gonna get married," and I was like, "Yeah, of course we are." You know what I mean? Just like nonchalantly, whatever. And So I was kind of like, okay, like when are we getting engaged? And we had looked at rings. Yeah, we had looked at rings.
Okay.
And, yep. And so we went on a little trip, and we had, when we were having our emoji conversations when we first met, so as I mentioned, when I was dating, I told people that I didn't want to know what they did, right? Like, I just want to know they were successful. So he worked for a financial firm and had been, with a financial firm for a long time. Again, he was
Consistency.
in his own, he was successful
And
in his
enjoyed
career.
it.
Enjoyed it. And he was successful in his career. So my point in saying that is that as we got to know each other, I realized he was a little more high maintenance than he led on initially.
Oh, aren't we all?
That's the way I like to do it.
Let me
Yes.
tell you something.
Right.
Ashley would, I duped her there too.
Yep.
I'm pretty high fucking maintenance.
Yeah. So although he was a fisherman, he was a fly fisherman and from Montana and had been all over the world fishing and skiing. And so anyway.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. He was
That's
like a black
badass.
triple diamond skier, like heli skiing. And I mean, this man was accomplished. And I loved that. It's what I respected him. Like, I was like, you are amazing, and
What high school did he go to?
Dillon, Montana, small.
Oh, so
little
he's
town
from
Montana.
Yeah, high school in Montana. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
so,
way cooler than anything in St. Louis.
Yeah, no, he's Montana boy. So
A
anyway,
little rip.
Yep.
Like Dutton Ranch rip.
Yeah, little rip. That's right. Yeah.
Whoa.
I wouldn't say he's like as rough around the edges as Rip was. He's a little bit more sophisticated.
Got it. That's
Who's
fair.
Rip?
From Yellowstone?
The best.
I've never seen the program. I'm aware of it.
yeah,
Who
that doesn't-
plays Rip?
Cole.
Cole
Hauser.
Hauser. Okay.
And she's got a tinkle? Yeah. She's
This
got a
bathroom
small
break
bladder.
is brought to you by.
McKelvey Insurance. We're going to get it sponsored. Rip is, I ended up rescuing a horse. And
That's not what I thought you said at first.
yeah, right, sure, horse.
Or was good. I didn't think you were gonna say that, but let's
Sure.
continue.
And Ashley said that doesn't. I go, if I wear the black hat, will I look like Rip? And she's like,
I got a question. I don't know if I'll ever need this information, but in case I do, it'll be good to have in my pocket.
Yeah.
What's a good way for a guy to secretly get the ring size?
ooh,
That's a great question. I don't know
you got to steal a ring out of their jewelry box.
if they wear rings.
Well, that's the only club I have in that bag.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm just going to give a little shout out to my friend, Mike Haddad. The Haddad family owns the Diamond family in Manchester. I would go somewhere like, they're amazing, but go to a jewelry shop that will, they'll tell you like the average size, or maybe give, your future wife, your, fiance, future fiance, whatever, her stature and her, I think bigger is better.
Yeah, because you
You can always size it down or no?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can. Yes. Yeah. Are you you're planning on getting
Not even-
engaged?
I'd have to get a match on one of the apps first,
You
but
would.
maybe at some point.
Yes. Yes. And oftentimes women like to go try on rings. Yeah. And so that's,
to your point, if you get like the ring's too big, it avoids an awkward like on your knee. It'll fit.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, this is huge. I got to go to size. Of course.
yeah.
But if it's too small and you're like trying to jam it on her finger,
Like, yeah.
Because you mentioned going to look together.
Yes.
And obviously you could work it into conversation if you're doing it together. But
Yes.
if it's a surprise, if you like the element of
Complete
surprise.
Well, then, yeah, that's.
I surprised and I did it at church on the steps to really lay it on thick, and I didn't think she'd say no.
I completely botched my first one.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it.
The steps of the World's Fair Pavilion. And we had been together for a while.
Like 5 years, you said, right?
5 or 6 years, yeah.
Wow. Was she from Arnold?
No,
Okay.
St. Louis area, but not Arnold.
Okay.
We met where we were teaching at the time.
Okay.
And I'm a nervous individual, so I was sweating bullets.
You do sweat. You do sweat a lot.
I do sweat.
Some people run hot.
But I think when she had her back turned, I think I turned and got on a knee, and I think all I said, if I remember correctly, was, "It's time."
It's like the line in Lion King.
No wonder it
isn't
didn't work
Yeah.
out.
She's like, for what?
Yeah.
Right. What are you tying your shoe?
Time to go.
My bad.
Yeah.
I'll get him next time.
You will, sure will. You just get back on that bike and keep on riding, all right, Kurt?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, so I love Charleston. It's
Yes.
probably one of my favorite cities. My best friend's family's from down there, so I got to go on some summer vacations, and that's Charlotte's a charm city, but it is like the most charming.
It's very charming.
And the food.
Super historic, and
right.
yes, it's a fabulous place. So we planned a trip there, and I remember being like, gosh, I really hope we get engaged. So I brought a really pretty dress and dresses for dinner, but we were meeting, he invited his best friend and his best friend's wife at the time, or girlfriend, I don't know, whatever. They're still together to this day, but he invited them to come hang out with us and stay the night and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, apparently we're not getting engaged. And so, and he must have been really nervous because he wasn't very nice. He was maybe stressed.
It is
Stressed.
I've only done it. Well, I've done it actually. I've proposed twice, and it's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, so I think he was a little nervous, but I remember thinking, we're not getting engaged. What a waste. And so, and it was raining all weekend, and so we went to dinner the first night, nothing happened, and then the next day we toured with his best friend and his wife, and I'm not paying attention to the tour because I'm like, are we getting engaged? Are we not getting engaged?
Right, looking at your finely manicured hand.
Of
just
course.
no ring.
Yes, and my hair's frizzing out because it's raining, and I'm So anyway, I was convinced it wasn't happening. So that night we went home, and I'm like, let's just get pizza and just lounge in bed. And he's like, no, let's go to dinner. And I'm like, okay. So I put on the same dress I had the night before because I'm like, I am not wasting that dress, my engagement dress.
Oh, wow. That's
Damn it.
funny.
So I put my, dress on from the night before, and we walked to dinner, and we were staying on Church Street or King Street. Oh, and so here's the thing with the emojis. So we joked as we were dating that he really did. He was a king. It turns out he was high maintenance, and he joked that really I was more high maintenance than I let on, and the finer things in life. And so we were staying at a hotel on King Street. So he walked me down King Street, and I am not paying attention.
Sure.
Okay. I just don't. Someone else plans it, I go.
Sure.
Yes.
So I'm, whatever. We're walking down King Street, and then walking on Queen, and then we walked on Meeting Street, and then we walked on Church Street, and he took me down this alley.
Oh my God.
I know. And he was like, we stopped, and he was nervous, and he was like, the king can't meet the queen at the church without one of these, and he
Nice.
and
Oh.
South Carolina was the 50th state that he had visited all other states. So he
wow.
said, it took me 40 years and 50 states to find you. And
My man.
And got down on one knee, but I don't think he actually got on his knee because it was raining, and I don't think he wanted to ruin his pants.
I don't blame him. So this, yeah.
Held the pose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hovered his
Yeah.
knee.
Well, let me tell you
Strong
something.
core.
That is right. That's
not
harder to
easy.
do. That's
Yeah.
harder to do. Especially 40-year-old knees.
He's like, that's not true. I'm like, your knee's not wet.
Did you lose it?
Yeah, I just was like, oh my God. And then we FaceTimed everybody and called everybody, and we didn't even eat dinner, just popped open
Sure.
champagne, and
Where was the friend and the girlfriend?
not there.
Did they know it was happening?
Oh yeah. They were not there.
It's all. Let me tell you something. I've been in the best friend spot too. It's also a tough. It's nerve-wracking too,
It's gotta
especially with
be.
my mouth. Because I'm like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. It's like you have to really. It's like that devil inside you. Just
There are two wolves.
right. So it's like the relief. I bet your friend was finally.
Yes.
We can.
Yeah.
So did you guys? So did you cry?
I'm sure I did.
Okay.
I'm sure I did. Yeah.
Just getting to know you, I bet you cried, and then did you bitch at him about the dresses?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. Probably not, because I was just so excited.
Sure.
And at that point, I was like, just put a ribbon on my finger. And,
Right, I don't even
I
care.
don't care. And it was a beautiful ring. And, he thought, he just really, he hit it out of the park.
Perfect.
Hit it out of the park, which is, a lot of how he
Yeah.
lived life.
Sure.
Yeah. Hit some home runs, grand slams.
How long was the engagement?
6 months. So we
Okay.
get back home, and I moved all my stuff there, and he was like, let's get married this fall. I'm like,
You're gonna plan it by this fall?
You mean
babe?
Right.
this is the spring? You mean this fall? And he's like, yeah, why wait? We waited all this time. I'm like, okay. And
see where you're coming from, but oh my God.
And, I'm like, okay. And I'm, like, well, in Omaha, where I'm from, in the Catholic Church. And he's like, nope, no. And we were trying to find a church together that we both, felt called to. And he was raised Presbyterian. I was raised Catholic, and we found a non-denominational church together. But anyway, I was like, okay, well, and I have a huge family. Mm-hmm. And most of his family is in Montana. But he presented the idea of getting married in Big Sky. And I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, I knew where it was at, but it's in Montana.
It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it's stunning. So Kyle had just sold his condo up there, but he lived his whole life in Montana.
Yeah.
And so it was a very special, beautiful place. And so anyway, I was like, okay, doing some research, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. Now, again, my family, little humble, Nickram family, and my dad's from Iowa, my mom's from Minnesota, Omaha. So
different time of farming in Montana.
Yeah, different. Yeah, and I'm like, gosh, is all my family gonna be able to afford to go to Montana? It's super expensive.
Right.
Even 10 years ago, it was super expensive.
Yeah, now it's insane.
Insane. So, I got a wedding planner, and we planned a wedding in Montana in 6 months.
In the fall?
In the fall. Yep. We got married September
Okay.
10th, 2016.
I mean, it gets cold pretty quick in Montana. How was it cold?
It was beautiful.
Was it?
It was a beautiful day. So planned a wedding. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Do people even have time to buy plane tickets and stuff? Like 6 months is like
They made it.
Quick, like, yeah.
You're still frustrated at this 6 month time frame. I get it. It's a lot. These places are booked years out now.
Well, his cousin worked at the resort, and we worked some magic at this beautiful chapel in the meadow in Big Sky. Worked some, I was in sales, and so
nice.
We did some. Yeah, we had some connections. Yes, all my family made it.
Oh.
Yes, it
Perfect
was
day?
perfect day. Yes, it was amazing, magical. Everything we could have ever imagined.
What year?
16.
It was 2016. Okay.
Yes. So we got married September 10th. We went on our honeymoon 2 weeks later, and it was a surprise. This is a funny story. Do we have time? We're just okay.
You have to pick up the kids at 4:30. You said.
I need to be home by 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get you out of here.
For those of you listening, you can put this on up the speed to 1.5.
There you go.
If this is getting a little long-winded for you. But so he was planning the wedding. I basically planned the wedding. He planned the honeymoon.
Whoa.
And so, right, and I don't know anything. It's a surprise.
So fun.
Just wait.
Oh.
So fun.
Uh-oh.
So
She was going to drop, I think.
So we wait 2 weeks, and we go on this trip, and we're going to be gone for 2 weeks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on our honeymoon, and then we're going to host a trip for his company. And I don't know where we're going. And so I packed my bag, a bunch of really nice heels and long, beautiful dresses, and I'm imagining some fancy hotel on a beach.
Sure.
So maybe a couple pairs of flip-flops, some swimsuits, and some nice dresses. And we fly to where we're going, and then we hop on a little putter plane, and
Oh my God, Alaska? Sorry.
Close. And we land, and they put a lay on us, but it's not Hawaii. I know it's not Hawaii. And we get in a van, and we're on this bumpy road. And mind you, I've been to resorts in
you really do not pay attention. You just go when somebody says we're going to go down Church Street. You're just going to go.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
You know what? I really trusted him.
Sure.
So you've landed
Take
and
the
you
lead.
still don't know where you're at?
I had an idea because obviously the plane, they announced the city we were flying into. So we went on, it was Bora Bora.
Oh.
So we're driving, and it's like a rocky, road. And I've been to resorts in Mexico where you drive down some
Sure.
really shady,
Yeah.
scary places, and then you go through the gates, and it's beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm picturing that. So then we're the first stop. This really old white van stops, and they're like, first stop, Andersen's. And I'm like, oh. So we get off, and I'm like, okay, where's the gate? The pearly gate. And we walk onto this dock, and there's this sign that says, welcome Andersen, spelled her last name wrong because we're E-N-O-N. And it's like something, whatever. It's the captain and his wife. We're going on a boat, a little boat together to spend the week. And so I was shocked.
On the boat.
On the boat.
For the whole week?
For the whole week.
So you didn't need those heels anymore.
I didn't need the heels or the dresses.
2 other people?
Yeah, just wait. So we get on and I'm shocked. And Kyle's like, and I'm like, oh, honey.
Oh, King.
I just need a little minute to process what we're doing. So we go down to our little bedroom. My suitcase won't fit. Doesn't fit. The bed is like this big with like this much space. Okay. And so I'm like, oh.
About to be Jesus down there
this
taking
is
a nap.
gonna be so fun. And he was like so upset and offended. Like he was expecting a different reaction, and I just needed a minute to process.
Sure, yeah, Ashley would have needed a minute. Absolutely.
Yep. And so the
we
first
don't bat 1,000.
it was a really he's like, everybody else said this was just so amazing, and I'm like, I'm sure
Should have taken them, babe.
it should have.
I gotta hear this. So this boat,
Yeah,
was it?
it's like a catamaran, and
Okay.
there's a captain, and his wife was the chef.
And you're going out to sea?
That's where we slept, and the captain ate.
It's not 4 hour like just we're gonna go look at the sunset and
No,
come
we're
back to
not-
the hotel.
We're not island hopping.
Oh,
We're
boy.
Just and it was the.
I
water-
picture Kyle like with his rod and reel, and he's ready.
Yeah.
It was his honeymoon.
Yeah.
Even the best of intentioned guys, we shouldn't be left with logistics.
Yeah. So, his heart was in the right place, and
Sure.
it ended up being amazing, but it was a shock. And the chef ate every single meal with us. He
Oh,
sat
wow.
across the table and he would go, bon appetit, and then just start eating. And again, it was awkward for the first meals because Kyle and I were like, I was like, we were still working out what had just occurred in my processing. And so it was so awkward. And then his wife would make the food. She wouldn't come eat with us, but then the chef would, bon appetit. So I joke now. Even my kids say it before we eat. We're like, bon appetit.
Wait, that's so funny.
Yeah.
The chef is just part of the crew by the end of the trip. Huh? He's like, hey.
Oh, yes. Yes. So we had a great
Oh,
time.
boy.
It was beautiful. But here's the thing. Sleeping on that little bed and in the water, I kept having to go pee to urinate frequently.
She's got that same problem on a podcast.
Yeah, so I'm like, gosh, I have to do the rest. And small little bathroom, and it's
Okay, I didn't know if you just dive in, if you got to dive in, or if
no, there's a restroom.
got it.
Yeah, so we spend the week there, and then we host the trip, and we stay in those huts, which was amazing. Except for there was I woke up with like a bug on me
boy.
first night, and
They look great on the pictures, the huts. I'm always like, this looks so awesome, but then
Oh, red heart.
that I don't know about.
yeah, so I was a little freaked out. Didn't sleep real great, but it was beautiful. The water was amazing.
Just like
Everything's
green
both.
teal.
yes, and
Unfortunately.
it's insane. There were you could see
How deep was the water that you guys were just?
I don't remember. I mean, you could jump in and swim and you weren't touched, but you could still see the ground, under you. It was
How many days were you
I think it was a week or so.
on
week or
this
10 days.
catamaran?
Oh, a week on the catamaran and then a week or 10 days in a hut. And
I'm sorry the way you just said it.
How's the Wi-Fi?
Honeymoon.
I don't remember.
I got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need Wi-Fi.
Yeah, there are some details that I blacked out.
Sure.
I have another funny story real quick. So
Take your time.
we were, loved coconut lattes. Was kind of our, you get on a shtick like Starbucks, and so we were like, yeah, we'd like a coconut latte, and there's a little bit of a language barrier,
Sure.
and so the coconut lattes came, and it was like the coconut, not like coconut milk, but like
the laxative coconut.
like the things you would use for the kind you would use for baking that's thick.
Oh,
Yeah. So we got sick very early on.
sure.
We got sick very early on in our
You'll
our
never
honeymoon.
forget.
Never
your honeymoon.
forget that, and I think I stopped drinking coconut milk altogether.
Sure.
Yep,
can
as
see
did
that.
he.
One
So-
toe in and
Yep.
all of it out.
That's
Exactly. So we had a great week. We flew home, and I missed my cycle, and it had been a month. It was time for me to menstruate.
I know what you're. Okay.
That didn't register with me at first. My mind went back to like the cycle bar stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get home and we're like, oh, well, I guess, whatever, I'll try a pregnancy. Well, actually, what had happened was I worked at Plank. So while we were getting engaged, I was doing Plank, which is Legree Fitness, kind of like Pilates on steroids. And I was doing it a ton. And she's like, hey, would you want to teach? Like, we just kind of opened. I'm like, sure. So I got to know the owner and started to teach. And I remember coming back and being like, yeah, my cycle's late. It's just probably all the stress. She's like,
you just got back from your honeymoon and your cycle's late?
Go get a pregnancy
How are you missing that? Yeah,
I'm like, come on. Well, all my friends were having trouble getting pregnant, and you know what I mean? Everybody, and I was older. He was older. So anyways, I go and get a pregnancy test, and I take the test, and it's positive.
Bingo. Boom.
And he goes running around the apartment. I'm going to be a dad. I'm going to be a dad.
My man.
He's like, I'm going to be a dad. And I'm like, whoa, what just happened?
You have to process.
I needed to process. So what happened was we must have gotten pregnant like on our wedding night because it was a month later.
Got it.
And
so it's supposed to be, right? Consummate the marriage, have the heir.
Very quickly, God blessed us.
King and queen of you.
Super biblical, sure.
Yes, absolutely. And so 9.5 months later, my daughter was 2 weeks late. I wanted to go all natural, so my water broke for all 3 kids. So God bless us with our little sweet Cora Rose Andersen. Yes, and it was.
I love that name. That's incredible.
Yeah, so Cora we wanted a family name. It's Kyle's dad's cousin.
Okay.
And Rose comes from my side of the family. My middle name's Rose. My mom's middle name was Rose. My grandmother's name was Rose. So we didn't have family. We don't have family in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And, my mom's gone, and my stepmom is awesome. She's a great, great human. She just doesn't really do babies, and she'll tell you that.
Sure.
I respect.
Yeah, yeah. But she is a phenomenal. She likes to be called KK, not Grandma. Phenomenal to my children. Like really treats them. They really, really have taken on the grandparent role and awesome. Stepped up. So, and Kyle's parents are in their 80s. And his family, like we just did not have family support. So I had really bad postpartum anxiety because I had just literally uprooted my life, got engaged, left my career, left everything I knew, was barefoot, pregnant.
No second. I mean, no time.
No time. Yeah. No career. I was a highly achieving person. And so
independent, like you said before to start this, that you could have supported a family on your own in the Midwest. Absolutely.
And that was my plan.
That's a big difference than barefoot, pregnant, no job.
But that's how Kyle grew up.
Sure.
His mom, God bless your heart, Verla, if you're listening, you were extremely talented, beautiful, amazing, spoke several languages.
Amen.
And moved to Montana, small little town, and got pregnant, had 4 kids. So in the back of Kyle's mind, that's how it rolls. And but it just wasn't me. And finally I was like, you know what, babe? Like, when you met me, I was training for my 4th marathon and opening a business, running a full-time career, and very high achieving. And so for me to just stop all that and have a baby and expect to know how to have this care for this baby really without any support.
Right.
It was a game changer. So,
how long did that postpartum last?
It lasted. So I probably had postpartum anxiety for 3 or 4 months before going to see a therapist or counselor, or getting on medication. I ended up getting on anxiety medication, and it helped big time. So then comes, Cora's 8 or 9 months, and I'm starting to feel better. And we had hired somebody to come help, and his company comes to him and says, "Hey, would you mind moving to Toronto?"
Toronto, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've got
That's my Canadian accent.
Yep.
But you have Minnesota ties, so you can pick up the language.
Sure. Yeah. So he comes home and he's like, "Honey, they've approached us about moving to Toronto." Now, historically, people that move to Toronto with this company stay for quite some time. And I'm
Become Maple Leafs fans in a hurry, huh?
Yeah, and even our nanny was like, "Maple Leafs," and I'm like,
God bless her.
What does that even mean?
Right.
What is a maple leaf?
What is a maple leaf?
So he's like, I wanted to come home and talk to you, but it's going to be great for the career. And I'm like,
Your
what?
career.
Oh.
What?
So in his mind, he's made
Of course.
Yeah.
We had just bought a house. Our plan was to fill the home with children.
Mm-hmm.
I just had our first baby, right? And I was just coming out of literally my head's coming above water, and I'm starting to look around and smile a little bit. And then they're like, will you move? And, the major stressors in life are moving, having a baby, losing somebody. There's just some big stressors in life. And
you're a queen.
Well, according to Kyle. So I said, of course, whatever. But of course the answer was yes. So then we moved to Toronto.
You did move to Toronto.
We did.
I thought you were going to say.
Of course the answer was yes.
I thought you were going to shut this down.
Same.
That's where I thought. Right. I
mean, Kyle had been with the company at this point 20 years. He started as a baby. And it would have been good for his career. They were going to take care of us. They were going to move us up there, run us a house. And it was temporary. And so I'm like, all right. So we did under a few conditions. One, that I could have a full-time nanny so that I could also work and study because I was studying for different certifications. And that I could shop up there because the dollar was really strong.
There you go.
And he used to be he was in finance, so a hard time about money. And so he's like, okay. And so we moved up there. We had a phenomenal time. Loved it.
Well, you wanted a nanny and to be able to go shopping?
Yeah.
That's a
You couldn't
fair
go
trade.
shopping before?
No, I mean,
The dollar is different. He's in finance.
correct. It's a little, So I wasn't, Now I could a little bit. And he couldn't give me a hard time.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went up there and it was, I got plugged into community right away. I started teaching Legree up there and worked at the cycle bar up there.
Yeah.
Start going to Leafs games.
Went to some Leafs games. Yeah. Blue Jays games. We had a blast. The food there was phenomenal.
I heard Toronto is amazing.
It's insane. It's so cool. And everyone's so happy there. And here's why. And I was a little bit afraid because I don't like winter. But this is my theory. Nobody, please don't hate.
It's a safe.
Don't hate. Okay. Socialized medicine up there. I think people follow their hearts and really fulfill their purpose in environments like that because they're not worried about benefits. They know that if they get sick, they will be taken care of. And everyone's like, oh, it takes forever to get into the doctor. I'm like, it takes forever to get in the doctor here, to a doctor here. Yes. Our medicine, we do have fabulous, doctors, researchers, like, the U.S., we are leading in healthcare. We're a leading country, right? But I think that people just pursued their dreams there, and they had the safety net of health insurance.
That's wild to think about, but it makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of people that take jobs just because they have to for health insurance
and stay in jobs and stay
miserable. Yes,
golden handcuffs.
100%.
A lot of people. Right?
Yeah.
And so everyone was happy up there. And I didn't even really notice the winter because we got the, Canada Goose strongest, biggest, fluffiest coat around.
Oh, God.
But we still walked everywhere. And it was, we loved it. And then Cora got to spend the whole year with Kyle. Kyle was home because he wasn't whining and dining. They don't really do that up there in Canada. Here they do, or they did. We had the best nanny up there, and so I was able to work but still be home with her when I, and study. And then we got pregnant with Leah shortly after we got up there. So every time we shot the goal, we made it.
Yes,
every single time.
High achiever.
Correct. That's how we do. So
Congratulations.
Yes. Very blessed. So God blessed us very quickly. So we then moved home almost a year exactly.
Cora and Leah now?
Yeah, Leah wasn't born yet, but Cora, and then we got pregnant with Leah, and so we we moved home right before Leah was born, which we were gonna be delivering in Canada, and she would have been dual citizen.
That was the question I was gonna ask, is if she would have been born there, does that make her a Canadian citizen?
Yeah,
obviously?
she would have had. Yeah, so we're like, that'd be so cool. We moved home right before we had her, so we had her in the U.S., which was great. So
this was it a permanent move home?
Yes.
Okay.
So we were back.
How old was Cora?
2.
Okay, so you guys did about a little over a year.
Correct.
So it wasn't forever. So
wasn't forever. No, but I would have stayed because I loved it.
Okay.
Yes. We were really happy up there. And like I said, Kyle was home with us. We got a lot of really valuable good time, because when he, the job he was in, it was very high stress and demanding. And it's a lot different here in the U.S. than it is in Canada. So we got home. We had Leah. I don't really know what happened after Leah. I blacked out. Having 2 kids, 2 and under, and Leah was an easy baby. I did not have postpartum with her. I know that. And then when she was 9 months old, I was holding her in a bottle, and I had was looking at a pregnancy test that I had taken that was positive yet again.
Oh,
9 months. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Sure enough, we were pregnant with our third.
Fertile Myrtle.
3 kids in 3 years.
How old are they now?
So Leah now,
so
almost 9, almost 7 and 5.5.
So that's almost, that's high school together probably, right?
It will be. I will be paying 3 private tuitions all at the same time. But apparently you can negotiate. I found that out.
Really?
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
can
Good to know.
negotiate. So I'm going to put that in the back of my head.
Okay.
So we get pregnant with Dane, and we're like, okay, you know. So again, I was like, well, we're to fill the house with kids, and we did. We have 3 extra bedrooms.
No
3 kids.
time.
No time. So, and meanwhile, Kyle's still working this extremely stressful, demanding job, and I'm trying to be a mom.
You're like
I am a mom. I am a mom.
Nanny.
Well, luckily I did have help. Yes. So Kyle.
You have to. Gosh, I can barely handle one.
Yeah, it's a lot. Kids are a lot, and they're such blessings. So beautiful. They bring so much joy, but they are a lot. And so, all of Dane's first year of life, Kyle was ill. He started with some stomach issues, GI issues, and we just thought, you know, like Pepto-Bismol or whatever, you know. I think he had some acid reflux and his back hurt, but we're like, oh, it's age, it's stress, it's, you know, all the things. And I mean, you should have seen our medicine cabinet. We had like everything you could ever think of for upset stomach, GI, you know,
Pepsid AC, all
the
that,
things.
yeah.
So anyway, after a while, and I'm just going to lay this out there. It's not, you know, it is what it is. So his bowel movements were very regular and then became irregular. And I gave him some probiotics that I was on, and he wasn't getting better. And in fact, we called the company because he thought the probiotic company was what's giving him all this upset stomach.
How long in between, like when he was irregular?
Oh gosh, so I don't know.
Like days?
Dane was born in November. He started having symptoms at the beginning of the year. And I don't remember. I just know that he was regular, and then all of a sudden he found himself irregular and constipated, and things just weren't sitting well. Yeah. And I had some GI stuff, but I also had 3 kids in 3 years, and you know, different scenario.
Not going to try to mansplain that.
Right, exactly. And so, you know, we went to the doctor, we got blood work, all the things, and
did he get a colonoscopy? And
at that point, no. Well, you know what? We did get a colonoscopy. Turns out the camera didn't go far enough up, but
damn it.
So, and his stomach hurt to touch because I remember the kids being on him, and he like this was all year. I have pictures, and I remember him being ill, and I'm just, you know,
vomiting.
Like, so finally in the fall, he had he vomited one night. He couldn't pass anything up or down, and I'm like, honey, we've got to go in. Enough's enough. So the next morning, we got a sitter for our kids who were 4, 2, and 11 months at the time.
Holy cow.
And went to Mercy ER. And on the way to the Mercy ER, he was like, do you think it's stomach cancer? Now, mind you, Kyle was a little bit of a hypochondriac.
Sure.
And so I'm like, no, honey, this is not stomach cancer.
My hypochondriac sensors are flying right now.
Yeah.
I
So,
get it.
you know, we're like, maybe he's all of a sudden allergic to dairy or something, or he has celiac, or, you know. And so we get to the Mercy, and
she doesn't leave home without a sleeve of lactate.
Got to.
Never seen anything like it.
You ever had that? You ever have lactate?
No, but I went gluten-free when I lived in California. But
they don't have pills for gluten, I feel like.
Do you need pills? I think we need to talk after this because we don't have time to
It's
dive.
just an enzyme.
Yeah, it's fine. Totally fine. Let's talk.
You got it.
So anyway,
Unless I'm scared.
don't be scared. Don't be scared. We're good.
Kira's got you.
I got you. Okay. So
So he says this in the car,
on the way there.
and you're.
I'm like,
obviously.
come on.
You're
And,
like, right now, you can't be doing this.
and his family had told me he was a bit of a hypochondriac, and jokingly he had already beat all these, you know, ALS and cancer, like joking that he's like a survivor of all these things because he's, you know,
He thought he had that.
Right,
he's
right.
a little nervous Nelly. And so we get to the hospital and they do a scan, and whatever, we're just sitting there, whatever, drinking our, you know, Smoothie King, you know, and I remember the doctor comes back in, this sweet young gal, never forget her face. She comes back in with someone else and they lean against and it takes a long time, right? Like we were in there for a long time, and she leans back on the, the counter and she's like, well, we found 3 different masses.
Damn.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, take a biopsy. They're probably benign. Come on. And like I was in medical sales for 10 years. Like I know enough to be dangerous, right? I was on the sales side, but you get to know the science and you get familiar with things. And I'm like, well, it's benign. Just take a biopsy. And she's like, no, we're pretty sure it's cancer. And I look at Kyle and I start screaming. I'm like, this can't be. We have babies. I go into the hallway. They have to like they come and get me and like put me in a special room because I just lose it. Which I'm like, looking back now, I'm like, and he called his sister, who's a doctor in Bozeman, right away. And, they had a priest or someone come in and talk to me. And so we went back in and they immediately drained him. What had happened was his tumor started in the tail of his pancreas and wrapped arms around his colon, which apparently happens. And it also metastasized to the liver, which it does most times. And then it was, I think there were a couple of spots on his lung and all along his peritoneum. So at this point it had way advanced. Progress. We're talking like stage 4 beyond, which oftentimes with pancreatic cancer that happens. Sometimes people die within weeks because there are no symptoms when it's just your pancreas oftentimes. It's only when it gets to another organ and starts affecting another organ. And so, and in the past, it really only affected the older generation, but unfortunately, it's being diagnosed much younger. GI cancers as a whole are on a rise. A lot of doctors will tell you, likely it's from our environment, stress, what we've been eating, the pesticides, all the things. So immediately they drain him, get him drained. They have to do an emergency procedure which luckily we're at Siteman Cancer Center at this point, which it was COVID, mind you.
This is 2020?
Damn.
2021.
So when did they send you home from Mercy or did you go right to Siteman?
We went right into surgery.
Oh, wow. So there was...
Because they had to unclog him. And so we had to find, and again, the time, it's a little bit fuzzy, but...
Yeah, I can't imagine the trauma that you're going through emotionally and mentally. I mean, you hinted at it by going out in the hallway and having that trauma response. I just can't imagine. Yeah,
it was a nightmare from day one. And so we have to find a search. Again, there's no beds available, by the way, because it's COVID.
Right.
Okay, so... I'll leave that there. And we had to know people, to get a hold of some doctors and get in a bed in Siteman. And we had to find a surgeon that was willing and skilled enough to do the procedure of putting a stent into a colon that was constricted by a cancer tumor, which is a very risky procedure because if you perforate, put a hole in the colon, which is just like soft tissue essentially, it's over.
Sepsis done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's over. And, they were really nervous about it. But one guy, they convinced one surgeon to do it, and he did it, and it worked. It was successful. So we got him. Yes. We got him opened up. And I don't even know how long we were in the hospital, but they did release us to go home. And Dr. Keon Lim took on Kyle's case. Dr. Keon Lim is an extremely amazing, talented researcher here at Siteman.
Did you just post his name? Or her? Is it?
Yeah, he just was on my podcast.
Okay, that's where I recognize.
Yeah. I've said his name 1 billion times.
Sure.
So,
okay.
So he took on Kyle's case, and so when we went home, we had a week until. And by the way, I never thought Kyle was going to die, ever. I don't know if it was God putting something in my heart. I don't know, but I did not believe he was going to die. I'm like, there's no way God gave me this man after all these years and these 3 beautiful children like that. And now you're going to take him from me? No way. So we go home and he decides he wants to go see his family in Montana before he continues with chemotherapy. He had already had 1 round. So we go to Montana, rent a big house. Everyone's staying there. It's over, Halloween, and it's a big shock. Kyle was just diagnosed, and there's just really no one else in his immediate family, at least, that had cancer. So this is new. And he starts to get severe stomach pain again, like he had before. In the bed, excruciating pain. We get him in the bath. He's like, it's horrible. So we get him rushed to the hospital there. His sister was the doctor, so we got in right away. And they did an x-ray, and his tumor had wrapped around his colon again in a different spot. Well, they don't have a Siteman Cancer Center in Montana.
Right.
So there was no one that was capable of putting a stent in, which is what he needed, a second stent. So we had to take an emergency flight home. And
what kind of flight?
Like a
commercial?
No.
Okay.
We had to rent an emergency.
Got it.
Yeah. So we get to Siteman, and I don't know if it's the same guy or not, but I believe so. Put another stent in. It was successful. Again, this is risky. And immediately in the hospital, and we were in the hospital, I can't even tell you how many times, in and out of the hospital, so many times, so many blood transfusions, chemotherapy infusion. I mean, like, it was not, his 17-month battle was not pretty. So anyway, he gets stable enough to get chemo. We see Dr. Lim, his whole team comes in, and apparently he was bright yellow. I didn't even notice it, but oftentimes pancreatic cancer patients, when it gets to the liver, something with the bile duct, and they become jaundice. Well, I was with them, so I didn't even notice, but they said he was super yellow.
I see it here for different reasons.
Yeah,
and
I bet.
We're not used to it. First time I saw someone they were getting ready to die from it. Little 21-year-old kid. And
did he pass?
He did stop. We got him to treatment, and he saved his life. His liver, because the liver is.
God.
But that side of yellow is it knocks you. It stops you in your tracks when somebody's that sick.
Yes, and so we got him stable, and they were going to start. There's only 2 standard of care treatments for pancreatic cancer. Only 2. The reason is, again, it used to affect only the older population, and it's often caught late stage. The prognosis is not good, so it doesn't really attract a lot of researchers and people out of college, people out of med school and their fellowships, because it's not like an exciting cancer, right? And most people die within.
I was just gonna say, anything I've heard of it, and I preface this that, like, there's no good cancer, but I've heard people say it's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
It is deadly, and it's not fucking pretty. Like, it's nasty. Like, I've heard in a guy's wife quickly, and you hear somebody has pancreatic, and it also stops you and your stomach drops because.
And that was everyone's reaction when we told him he had pancreatic cancer stage 4. Oh no, that's the worst. That's a bad one. And you're like,
thanks, guys.
Yeah, probably wouldn't.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No,
right.
it's got
Damn it.
Yeah. So, let's see what. So we start the first
second stent. He gets chemo.
Yes. He starts chemo, and he was so late stage and so weak. He wasn't eligible for any studies that were happening. He wasn't eligible for immunotherapy because of the type of pancreatic cancer he had. So we just had to roll with the first line treatment, which is called FOLFIRINOX. And less than 32% of patients respond to FOLFIRINOX, which is not good. So we did a couple months of that. But again, I'm like, hashtag expect miracles. Kyle's going to make it, and his, they did the scan, and the first result, the results came back, and he had a mixed response, which means some tumors grew and some tumors shrank, but his tumor marker continued to rise. And that's what you have to look at. And so they would consider him, it wasn't working. If he continued on that, he would have passed very quickly. And also cancer starts to learn the treatment. Yeah. So that's why you can't be on the same treatment for that long oftentimes, and I'm not an expert in this, but I know enough now, I think, to talk, and so don't quote me on this, people, if, so then it was option B, which is Gemzar Abraxane. And I remember sitting in Dr. Lim's office, and Kyle's sitting on, where they sit on the, whatever the chair is. And I remember being like, okay, so we're going to option B. What's option C and D? And he's like, there really isn't. And I'm like, okay. Because option B, even less, the percent of people that respond is even less than option 1. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm like, there's got to be something else. And he's like, well, there's some things in labs right now that are working really well. And I'm like, cool. So how do I get that from lab to my husband? And he's like, it takes time. It takes money. We submitted it to the FDA a couple times, and they pushed back for really minuscule things like needle size in the mice and just very small things. But the numbers are astounding. Like, this is literally eradicating the pancreatic cancer in all of these mice every time we run this study. And I'm like, okay. So then someone sends me the study, the paper, and back up. So I'm like, what, how do we get into human? He's like, well, it just, he finally eventually told me it takes money. So if the FDA keeps pushing back, whatever, so it takes money. And I'm like, well, how much money? And he's like, Kira, I can't really tell you that. I'm like, no, how much is it to get a drug from a lab? You're not taking
no for a fucking
to
answer.
To lab to human. I'm fighting for our life. And he's like, well, it takes about $3 million. And I look him in the eyes. I say, I'm going to find you $3 million. And he's like, Kira, you don't have to do that. I'm like, but I do.
Right. What do you mean I don't have to do that?
But I do. So my thought process was, if we can come up with $3 million, Kyle would be one of the 50 to 60 patients to get that treatment. And not only would it save his life, but it would save so many other people's lives. Like, if the data is so great, and mind you, oftentimes some studies in labs work great and then they don't do all that well in humans. But he was so excited about this and was very certain this was going to work. So Dr. Lim approaches pancreatic cancer a little differently. He believes that there's around the cancer cell, it's inflamed. And so his theory is to bring into the regimen an inhibitor that basically softens the coating around the cancer cell and allows chemo to work better. So you can use less chemo, because we know chemo kills everything.
Right, yeah.
Not just the cancer cells, and also allows you to use immunotherapy, which is working wonderful wonders in cancer. It just starts your own immune system to kill the cancer cells. Mm-hmm. So I opened a fund, the Kyle Andersen Fund, and started raising money. I contacted every pancreatic cancer organization I could find, anybody who had been infected by pancreatic cancer, celebrities, anybody and everybody could find. I contacted, sent emails, I called to see who would come fund this, support this. So we were starting to get money to flow in, and I went on my social media and said, hey, do any of my people know anybody at this company? Because I looked at the study. Again, someone sent me the study, and at the bottom was the manufacturer of the inhibitor. Mm-hmm. So I went on just to see, does anybody know anybody? Because again, I was in medical sales for 10 years.
Pharmaceutical, yeah.
Pharmaceutical and device. And a lot of my dermatology people had moved over into oncology because there's more money in oncology, which in and of itself is sickening. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I love all you people so much. Those pharmaceutical, yes, you guys work very hard. And I don't think we should be making as much money on cancer drugs. So anyway. It's fucked up. Yeah. Someone that I worked with in my last company and knew personally, because he and I volunteered together. And the reason I mention that is that we knew each other like more on a personal level than just like, people that worked in different states that knew of each other. Right. He sent me the cell phone and name and number of the CEO and president of this pharmaceutical company and said, hey, this doctor is a good friend of mine. Give him a call. So I called him. And I told him our story. I said, my husband's young. We have young kids. How do I get your inhibitor into my husband? And he's like, well, have you heard of compassionate use treatment? And I'm like, yes, I've heard of it. It's where it's the right to try. It's if a researcher has something in their lab that's really promising, they can use it as a Hail Mary into their patient, as a Hail Mary. And I'm like, but in my mind, I'm like, that's a bunch of red tape. You have to go to the FDA. It's just like,
okay. I was going to ask because I never heard of this. I didn't know.
Yes. Compassionate use, the right to try.
But there's still all this red tape.
Yeah. In my mind, it's going to take time. Pancreatic cancer.
You don't have time.
We don't have time. It moves very quickly. It's very deadly. So I'm like, no, can we just have the inhibitor? Really?
Right, I've heard of it, but that's why I called.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, too much red tape. And he's like, no. I'm going to meet with my board on Monday. If it's a unanimous yes, then, to use our inhibitor, then we'll allow Dr. Lim to use it. So I'm like, cool. So I went on and looked online, and number 2 listed on his board was someone that I worked under in the last company.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn, girl.
Mm-hmm. So I called him. I'm like, hey, this is the deal. I told him the whole story. And he's like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get that whole board to say yes. And then you'll be able to move forward. So then Dr. Lim calls me. He's like, hey, I hear you've been busy over the weekend. I'm like, a little bit. And he's like, okay. He's like, so we'll know, they're meeting today. I'm like, oh, I know. And he also called another company who has an inhibitor similar to that, and told them what was happening. And we ended up getting a yes from both companies shortly thereafter. And so it was, all right, which company is going to get us the inhibitor first? The other company got it first. And Dr. Lim creates a study of one, which takes all sorts of paperwork. And he's elated because this research he's been doing for years is now going to go into his pancreatic cancer patients, right? Yeah. And it had worked in other cancers, this idea. And so he goes to WashU. He's a WashU physician, and he goes to the head of whoever approves that kind of stuff. And the guy says, the doctor says, no.
The fuck?
No, it's 3 drugs, 1 patient. It's never been done before. We're just not going to risk it. So Dr. Lim calls to tell me this. So we were so elated, and then all of a sudden this, let down. And I'm like, okay, who said no?
Right. Now give me their number.
Right. I need their address and their mama address and their grandma address right now.
Mm-hmm. And so
that's so annoying. The risk of trying the medicine is higher than the risk of fucking cancer.
Of someone dying. So I find out who it is. I call his office. I talk to his receptionist and any nurse that will talk to me, told him the whole story. And I'm like, we needed him to change his mind. We have a young family. I sent him an email with pictures of our family. I printed it all off. I looked up his address. I was going to go leave it on his doorstep because you can pretty much find anyone's addresses online, by the way.
You can. City website. You can type in any address.
A little scary.
Yeah.
That's why people have security systems. And so... And I also asked for clinic days. I'm like, well, when does this guy see patients? Because he still saw patients. So they gave me his clinic days and where he sees patients. And I was going to go sit in his office until he saw me. Again, I was in medical sales for 10 years, which is why God put me in that career, I believe. Yeah. So I'm not afraid to sit in a doctor's office. And if he wouldn't see me, I was going to find him in the parking lot and just say, hey, my name's Carrie Andersen. I'm, why no? Tell me to my face.
Right, look me in the eye.
Because doctors are humans too.
Yeah.
And Dr. Lim called him, and I tried to get Dr. Lim to tell me what he said, but I'm probably something along the lines of, this woman's coming after you. I don't know what was said, but he changed his mind.
Yeah.
So the answer was yes. So then he submits it to the FDA. It's approved, and we get it into Kyle. And but at this point, he had already received, 30 rounds of chemo or something. No. This was just 5 months in. So maybe 20 rounds of chemo at this point. Right. As if that's
right.
But I mean, chemo kills everything. He's, and so we give it to him, and we're like, and he had been pretty much bedridden at this point. He was nervous Nelly because of COVID. He wouldn't let the kids come in near him. He was in a lot of pain. There's tubes everywhere. He's on TPN. We're having to feed him, bags of liquid. He can't eat anything. And it was bad. It was bad. And so it's really, as a caretaker, all of a sudden you're a nurse.
Yeah,
right. That's 100%. What I was just thinking.
I went to school for marketing and sales.
You're right. Medical sales to bedside manner.
What? I was having to give him shots, and his older sister came and helped initially. But I mean, I'm having to give him shots, pills, things going everywhere. IV. I'm just like, okay. And
up to this point, it just amazes me though how, like superhero shit you're doing.
Anybody would do it, right? Like your husband is, it just God gets inside and you just go. And also I'm raising children, by the way. And like,
right. A mom feeling threatened at the safety of herself, her partner. And
Mama Bear came out.
Right.
I have heard people describe it like you would never think you could be able to do it until you just don't have a fucking choice.
Correct. There is no choice. There is no choice.
Heroic to me.
Just you do it, and you would do it too. And I hope that it never happens to you or anyone you know or love. But life is precious, and unfortunately, it happens. We all die at some point. Okay, so he starts to get better, y'all. Getting stronger. He's able to eat. He was really angry at first at life. Why him? Very angry, understandably, and extremely sick. Yeah. And I can't even imagine because we had the stomach flu twice this year. Thank you.
I don't wish it on my worst enemy.
What?
The stomach flu.
Okay, yeah, and I'm thinking, I feel like I'm gonna die,
right.
And this is a 4-day stomach flu. Kyle had excruciating pain and sick, and I cannot imagine what he and all of those of you who suffer from chemo, any cancer, any illness with the GI, anything. I just cannot imagine it. And so anyway, he starts to get better. He starts to like go on walks, and he's eating more, and the kids are playing. He's letting the kids are on the bed, and he's getting better, and the scans are showing his tumor markers dropping. And so we're like, it's working. So we're thrilled. And we plan a trip to, as it goes on, his tumor marker continues to go down. He's feeling better. And again, the whole thing, it wasn't pretty. We still had some, hospital stays because of low blood counts and blood transfusion. I don't even know how many blood transfusions he had. Which please go donate blood if you haven't. Please. I still need to keep donating because I feel like I need to donate as much blood as he got at least. And anyway,
that's a good mission and statement, and reminder of how important it is to donate. And what's
so important.
And what's the type that's most rare? I know there's
remember.
One, right? That is.
I'll Google.
Yeah, I can't remember, but there is one. So it's very simple and easy. And oftentimes when you go donate blood, they give you like a $10 Starbucks gift card or something.
Right.
I mean, there's
Get
tons of
yourself a cold
incentives.
brew.
Yeah. Get yourself a cold brew. So I'm very thankful that he was able to get blood. And sometimes we had to wait, right? So anyway, he was getting better. So we planned a trip. He wanted to go to Disneyland. So we went to Disneyland with the kids, and this is totally a God thing. So Kyle's brother, Scott, they're cattle ranchers, Scott and Nicole, and they have 2 children. My kid's cousins. He has other siblings, and my kids have other cousins too. But he was really close with that family. They were in Dillon, Montana, his brother and sister. And anyway, Troy was an incredible athlete, as was Holly. And Kyle was there for all of it because Kyle, once he got done with college, started his career as a financial advisor in Dillon, Montana, this small little farm town. So he's really close with his brother and the family. And, so we grew up tossing the ball with Troy, going to all the games, for Holly and Troy. And Troy ends up being and was Holly, college athlete, superstar. He played on both sides he played football, both sides of the ball at Montana State, quarterback and defense. And he also was on the basketball team. Well, on the basketball team in high school, and, valedictorian, like.
Watch out, ladies. For Troy.
And he's also a nice looking human. Super sweet. They're Christian. I mean, it's just amazing. They're an amazing family. He has some amazing family. So anyway, Troy gets drafted into the NFL second round, number 58
Holy
overall
shit.
in 2022. Yeah, in 2022, the extra year that God's giving him. And Kyle, I mean, it was such a big deal for him. It's all he read about, talked about. Like it kept him going. Yeah. And we got to go to some of Troy's rookie games.
That's incredible.
And he was
who drafted him?
The Atlanta Falcons.
All right.
Yep, number 44.
So that's your team.
It's my team. Yep.
Right.
I got a little Falcon sticker on the back of my car my kids made me put on. I swear I would never be that person, but here I am.
Right.
Oh, it makes me want to root for the Falcons in the NFL.
Yes. So Troy won like Defensive Player of the Year, had a phenomenal season. Kyle was elated.
Holy shit.
Yes, like a big deal. And it was all Kyle talked about. It was awesome. His little, buddy Troy was in the big, the NFL.
That's my boy.
Right? And so totally a God thing. So, towards the end of that year, his tumor marker went down so far low, he essentially had no evidence of disease. So Kyle's stage 4 pancreatic cancer on his deathbed, got the study, and was no evidence of disease by the end of that year. I have pictures of my kids holding signs that say cancer-free. Mm-hmm. And we were like, what do we...
I can't even... I'm having a hard time fathoming, like, that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so did everyone else because he was so far advanced. And nothing had worked like this before. And so we were all elated. We're like, what's next? What are you going to do, babe? You want to go back to work? Do you want to travel? What are we going to do? How are we going to raise our kids? Like, differently, right? We had a different perspective on life.
Yeah,
and so we traveled over the holidays and came back, and he, went in for our, he still had to get chemo to maintain, we're still doing
to go in for,
maintenance chemo, and for a certain period of time. Well, he started to get sick. So every time he'd get treatment, we'd end up back in the hospital, low blood counts, or he would get an illness or something, just all sorts of stuff. Okay. Well, his body was so compromised from all the treatment.
Yeah.
And so we'd have to spread his treatment out. right? Because if he was sick in the hospital, he would be too weak, or his numbers wouldn't be good enough for him to get treatment. So we started to spread out. And unfortunately, his cancer started to grow back and he became weaker. And so spring of that year, we went to Florida, and I remember him being so sick. And again, I never thought he was going to die. I'm like, this is going to work. He's going to be fine. And on that trip, I have pictures. He was super bloated. I remember us going out to dinner before we left, and he was just eating like crazy. Like he had not eaten.
Like he's so hungry.
So hungry, and just like enjoy like a margarita and like I'm like nacho, and I'm just like, yeah. I think he just knew that it was towards the end. So we got home from that trip and went right to the hospital. And
did you guys fly?
We did.
Does that hurt? That I've heard that a friend of mine and his family died of was a colon cancer, a young man. And it was he got married. He was very sick at his wedding, and he's like, they're like, don't fly to your honeymoon. He's like, I'm going. And we think he knew, but he wanted to go with Sarah, his now widow, too. But they said that I think the doctors were saying that flying can not be good.
Right.
But it's like, to your point, like,
cancer's probably worse.
Mike knew. Yeah, Mike's like, I'm taking my wife. And the pictures of him at his wedding, he was so sick. And
so sorry.
Yeah, well, it's like and you were talking about the stomach stuff, and he went, because when you were talking about how he was eating, I think Mike went and enjoyed his honeymoon with his widow, and God, he fucking deserved it. She deserved it. So you guys come home,
go right to the hospital, and he had gotten blocked again, and they weren't willing to put another stent in. The surgeon was like, I'm not putting another stent in. And he continued to get, his belly continued to fill, and he mentally started going. Like, it was very odd. Like, I'm like, please check him. Maybe the cancer went to his brain. And we're trying to figure out what to do. And time is going quick, right? And time is of the essence. Like, do we put another drain in him to drain him? Do we put another, they said, no, we won't put another stent. And so we're like, do we do chemo to try to shrink it? Like all these things. And it's, if you've never been around anybody, towards the end of their life, it is like nothing you would ever imagine. I mean, your brain, your body, his body was going, and he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. And so he was trying to get out of the hospital bed and room, and I was having to like hold him down. And again, it was COVID, so there weren't a lot of nurses, it was crazy. And finally, the doctor on call, and, I'm talking to Dr. Lim on the phone. I think he was out sick or traveling or something, and trying to figure out what to do. And he's like, we could do another round of chemo, and the anesthesiologist, the doctor.
He wasn't giving up either.
No, Dr. Lim wasn't. And the doctor on call was like, listen, showed me his scans and was like, this is the only place we could put where there's no cancer, we could put a tube. This is very risky. And what happened was the anesthesiologist said, I'm not putting this guy under. He's not going to be able to come back out. And so that was it. We had to put him on hospice, and we were there for, maybe another day or so, and then went to Evelyn's house, and, he went down. It went very quickly. Yeah. And so my kids came up, their teachers brought them up to the hospital, to say goodbye, essentially, because we didn't know how long it was going to be. And then took him to Evelyn's house, and he was there for, I don't know a few days. And I did not leave his side. I would sleep next to him on my bed, and 8 of his best friends came into town, which was awesome. Normally, you're not supposed to have that many guests, but they totally let it fly.
There's no fucking rules at this point, right?
Correct. People are sleeping on couches and on the floors, and April 3rd, 2023, I was literally laying on his chest. We were sleeping, and he took his last breath at 2:45 in the morning. They came in and let me know that was it. And that was it. So it was, unbelievable. You're never prepared for something like that. We're just not. So then I finally was like, oh, okay, God, I guess you are taking him after all. And I walk out in the dark at 2:45 in the morning and get in my car and drive home. And I'm just like, what now? well, you have to start planning a funeral and figure out what to do with his body. And
what to do with his stuff.
My parents came.
And how to tell everybody else.
Yeah, my parents were there. And so, we had to start making calls, and then I had to go, we had to figure out a funeral, and my dad helped me pick out a casket. And, we had to tell my children, go home and tell my children that Daddy wasn't coming home. Life doesn't prepare you for that. You don't ever think it's going to happen to you.
Mm-mm.
And again, I'm like, God didn't do that. Come on. God's not going to give me all this and then take this away. So, we go into go mode, plan a funeral, and his funeral was, I can't even, so many people showed up. He really impacted a lot of people throughout his life. Kyle was very well loved. And so, huge open casket funeral, and then flew his body to Montana because I figured he'd want to be buried in Montana. He was not a Missouri boy. I remember him talking about the rivers here in the Midwest are all muddy, and I'm like, of course they are. And then in Big Sky in Montana, they're like crystal clear blue. He can
grab a trout with his bare hands.
With your bare hands. And so I figured he'd want to be buried at home, and so we buried him near his grandparents, whom he adored, in his hometown. His brother designed, then you have to design a headstone. His brother found a design for his headstone that was perfect. It's a fly fisherman in the mountains, and it was perfect. And
that's that picture that I just picture that like the picture that on eHarmony that you got sunglasses and the fish.
Yep. And so we went home and had a ceremony in Montana, and buried him, and that was wild.
It's hard to articulate all the sorries, and I mean, like to hear you fight so hard, and not ever think it was going to happen. We're big Jesus cats, and it's like you had to have to fight as hard as you did. You couldn't even have let your mind go that it wasn't going to work, and that he was going to lose. I just don't, the way you fought for him.
Well, it was, I didn't.
And for you and your family.
And God, God did all this. Like, there were so many God winks along the way. The fact that I knew people that knew people that knew people that Dr. Lim, all these connections. And all of a sudden he's the first human to get this drug, to be in this study. It's like, you can't make that stuff up. That's a God thing, right? And I look back at my life and I'm like, no wonder you had me in medical sales. No wonder you had me move back. No wonder this. No wonder that, it all makes sense. He picked me for him and him for me. And, I struggle with everything happens for a reason, and I still have a lot of questions for God. But I know that we are going to continue his legacy, so that, our sacrifice of Kyle will, hopefully it is saving other people's lives, and his legacy will continue to change people's lives as he did when he was alive.
Your faith through this is so fucking inspiring. It just, I keep hearing you talk about God winks through a horrific. It's just such an understatement. I don't have the level of words for what you and he went through, and you're talking about God winks, and that's so inspiring.
Well,
to cling, and
it's like hope.
We did, exactly.
Truly.
You don't have shit else.
Correct.
Right.
What else are you gonna do, right? And you're out of control, and so many of us think we're in control of our life, and then something happens, and you figure out, actually, I'm not in control. God's in control, I believe. And so we just need to follow his lead and be open to him, him leading us. And that's what I'm talking about. God winks. Like, when you start to live your purpose, what we're all brought to this earth, I believe. First of all, we're all connected, right? You guys are my brothers and sisters. Like, I'm going to work hard and fight for your life too. And we all have a purpose. And, and everyone passes at some point, I mentioned, and we don't know how much time we have on this earth. We don't. And, Yes, I did. My faith grew, and we had an amazing pastor come walk with us, Mr. Tim Bounds. He was at the Crossing at the time, which is where we were, and he came and spent a lot of time with Kyle because Kyle was scared to die.
Yeah.
He, was studying the Bible towards the end, and he was so afraid he wasn't going to make to heaven because of some things, and he
Stop
wasn't.
it.
Swear, right? And he's in a
Kyle.
yeah, right. Like he
You were shining bright, brother.
correct.
Fuck.
Yes. So that was amazing. Tim was amazing. He came up to the hospital with us and really cared for us and was
Walk
there
the
for
walk.
us. And he's a pastor at a huge
Yeah.
church. We had only been at for a few years, and so
Shout out to him, man.
yeah, I just had him on my podcast too. He is amazing. It was totally a godsend. So yeah, that whole first year, I was taking care of my children who were grieving and so young they didn't really realize. And really, that whole year, Kyle was in and out of the hospital. We did have some good times though, right? Like
Sure.
we did go to Disneyland. We did get to go to Atlanta, to see Troy play a couple times, and so, they do have some good memories. But, the first year after your spouse dies is you're in shock. Okay. Any widow will tell you that. There is so much that happens that you don't realize post-death paperwork, and you have to cancel, subscriptions and credit cards and find passwords somehow or not. All the paperwork, mortgages, bank accounts,
and like little things too, like an email.
yes. So you keep getting triggered
Yeah.
every step you take. The secondary losses are horrific, and they continue on. So that whole first year you're doing post-death stuff and just plowing through. And I continued to fundraise, which is something I
was going to ask, when did you start? You mean you were fundraising while he was still here? But...
Correct, because I thought we were going to have to fund a phase 1 study.
Sure.
So I started the fund right away. We even did a big fundraiser. We raised over $200,000 in one afternoon.
Is it still the Kyle Andersen Fund?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. And
Active, right? Everything's
Correct.
active.
Oh,
'cause
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Kurt, we're going to put that all over
Awesome.
everywhere. But
that'd be amazing.
yeah, because you started fundraising even for, you're like, I'm going to go get $3 million to get this inhibitor. I'm going to go get it. That's fucking
correct. Like, I'm not
right.
just going to stop because we had compassionate use. God blessed us with that. But he also blessed us with this story for a reason. Like, I look back now, like I said, I was in a grief group, which, by the way, it was really hard to be in grief groups that weren't cancer specific and really a widow's grief group, because people were losing, no offense anybody, but like losing your 95-year-old father.
Sure.
Or he's ill to some, and I'm like, you just can't relate, right? I lost my 47-year-old husband with 3 babies at home.
Yeah.
No,
it's a generic, it definitely, I get it.
It was hard.
I mean, we have a couple that are like overdose specific, because these moms need to, they just, it's a, if you know, like group that you need. And the more similar the journey, absolutely, there's people you don't even have to talk, like when you're with other moms or wives, widows that have gone through something similar, you can go out to dinner and you may not just talk about it.
Correct.
But you're in a fucking place where for 1 minute, for 30 minutes, for an hour, somebody gets it.
1,000%. And every widow, so I'm in an organization called Never Alone Widows. It's a Christian group. It's a nationwide organization. We have a local chapter here. I encourage any widow listening to this, regardless of your age, regardless of the reason that you're widowed, to find us online and come to our meetings. We are taking a little break this summer, but it's an incredible group of women that we get together once a month, 1 p.m. on the last Sunday, and we get to bring our kids. We have volunteers that watch our kids, and we just talk about what happened. We talk about, maybe we'll have a study or something, or a speaker or a craft or something to do, but it's an incredible group of women. And unless you're a widow, you don't get it. Unless you've been in these shoes, you can try to understand. And, divorcees, like there is a difference.
Yeah.
They're grieving a life. We're grieving a life, but their spouse is still there, or spouse is still there. Like, they're with us, it's no choice. It's done, gone, can't go back. There's no reversing. There's no maybe. It's done. It's final. And so that her whole first year, I joined that group very quickly, and that was totally a God thing. My one of my kids.
Who grabbed your hand and pulled you to this?
So I did my own research and found the
that
group.
That tracks.
Yeah, it tracks.
Absolutely
right?
tracks.
Yeah, and it ended up that my child's preschool teacher was also in the group. She lost her husband to a ski accident. So the meeting I showed up, she went to the gal that started it and said, "Hey, when's too early to introduce this group?" And I walked. She goes, "What do you mean, Kira?" Because she's like, "I have a friend," and I walked in, and she's like, "What?" And so
asking about asking you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
incredible.
And I show up, and so I've been in that group ever since, and they've been an amazing support system. I continue to fundraise that whole year. Remind me the name is Women what? Oh, Never Alone Widows.
Never Alone Widows. Okay.
Yes. So.
We'll and that's open to
anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a Christian group. You
Sure.
don't have to be Christian, but just know we talk about Jesus in the Bible.
Right.
There is a secular group called STL Crew that's more west, like St. Charles County, which to me is like a whole nother state.
Yeah, it is.
I black out when people say Chesterfield. I have like a 20-minute, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, anyway,
people feel that way about this side of the river too.
Yes.
I live in Webster now, but I grew up over here.
Oh,
so,
you did?
Yeah, we know people that don't include it as part of like the St. Louis metropolitan area.
Oh yeah. No, this is Illinois.
Yeah, right. True.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It is. Yep. Yeah. You crossed you.
I
that
did
big
cross the
Poplar.
river.
Yeah.
I knew it was Illinois. I'm kidding, and it didn't seem that far, But anyway,
Ashley runs. She's director of wellness for our church, and her whole job is creating 6-week groups that are like she's had grief, and then she's making them more specific. So I can't wait. We got to meet her. And because this. And it's open to all, not just like it's really designed for the community, not just the people that go to the gathering, but it's
you go to the gathering.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
That's where I met her there and
awesome
and everything. So she's like this next during summer they call it summer hangs where everybody has it's pretty cool, but like just doing Sunday between Sundays, right? And they hired her to start this 2 or 3 years ago, and the wellness groups, like when I'm hearing these groups, I'm like, I wish she was at the table, because these are great ideas that she needs, and
Yes.
how powerful group. I mean, it's in recovery everywhere too. So
community.
it's like it is. It's you said it really early about shame and isolation, and this is the only way to, and how easy losing your life partner. Could you just nobody would even judge you if you said I'm done and just gonna sit at home and make sure my kids kind of make it. I'm like I would I don't know it. So to do it and fight back and be a part of a community like this,
yes, and
it's so important.
It's incredibly important. And so I'll mention this. So again, I liked fine wine. Kyle liked fine wine. He traveled all over the world, so we had fun like introducing different wines to each other. And it's not like we were big drinkers by any means, but Kyle had spent some time filling our wine cellar because his friends would come over and tease him because we had like 2 bottles in the wine cellar. So he had spent a significant amount of time and money filling that thing. And but the minute he got diagnosed, I didn't ever pick up another glass of wine again or anything, because my thought process was, and by the way, I was pregnant and I didn't drink much anyway, but I completely stopped when he got diagnosed because I'm like, why? Because mental health is really important. And when I started having kids and getting postpartum anxiety and realizing that I had anxiety and what depression was, and, I had some OCD tendencies, and I'm like, why would I put something in my body, a toxin in my body that's a depressant in the most depressing scenario?
There's so much overlap. Like I scream that from a mountain, and it's the first thing you learn about alcohol is it's a depressant, and I'm treating my depression with depressant.
A lot of widows, reach for the bottle,
and
a lot of them
self-medicating.
Yes. I dug into fundraising, and I started a podcast, and I dug into stuff, and again, that first year you're in shock. You're doing anything and everything just to survive. And so I haven't drank since, and I don't want to. I'm a health and wellness coach. I was even before Kyle, got ill, and I believe that, I believe God brought us on this earth to live, and he created food from the ground, right? Like we're designed to eat the things that come from the ground, the animals that the animals that he provided for us. And if you treat your body well, and feed it properly, the right nutrients, drink water, you're going to act and be the best version of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally. It's my belief. You know, we screw it up with all this processed junk, with all these toxins and negative, you know, things we put in our body. God
maybe created the wine so we can get the right people in a fundraiser in the right room and loose them up a little bit to donate a little bit more to the Kyle Andersen Foundation. Because that's the big, you know, the biggest thing we talked about Olive and Oak earlier is the food and wine event they have with all, and it helps people a little bit with raise the hand during Fund a Need.
100%.
So that's why,
I'm
that's
not
what
hating
it's
for. No, right?
absolutely not.
A little bit's okay, right? Like fine wine, amazing. And I often think like maybe someday I'll have wine with dinner sometime, you know, maybe. But, you know, again, I have alcoholism in my family. It does feed cancer, whether you like it or not.
Big T trauma from that alcoholism.
Correct. You know, and so anyway, I don't think about it at all. And again, it's not like I had a problem and all of a sudden I have to stop. So when you said you just stopped, you know, I can relate. You're just like, why? What am I doing?
I had a glass of tequila on the rocks on a Sunday. And it was maybe my second or third one of the day, and there was just like a moment where I looked in the mirror and I thought, this ain't it. And I poured it out, and
that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. And you know, a lot, you know, alcoholism is a disease, and it's, you know, it affects a lot of people. And if it's a family disease, you know, and a lot of people don't. It's funny because St. Louis is a big drinking town.
Oh yeah, so funny.
Home of the king of beers.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
So when we
Budweiser,
we opened in June of 23, almost at 3 years, and I would have lost a bet. I would have said we'd be 75% opioids and fentanyl. It's reverse. It's alcohol. It's still 75% alcoholism. And why not? And here I am I did cocaine to drink more alcohol, but I'm a alcoholic, and self-medicating alcoholic at that. So it is absolutely, I was a regular at every tavern and throw a rock from here. And that's how I tried to grieve. And so it was until I went to treatment, leaned into to Jesus, I was able to start grieving correct. Like it was there. Yeah. Right. And it was just trying to bury it and just because I didn't want to face it. But
it's a numbing agent, and it helps you do exactly what you want it to do. But it's temporary, and it comes back like in tenfold, right? And so so I buried myself in fundraising. I wanted to continue to raise those $3 million. So by the end of 2024, I also joined hands with Pedal the Cause, which is an amazing organization for those of you here in St. Louis and beyond. They raise money and it goes into a big pot, and they distribute funds to basically seed studies, essentially are studies that are in labs that need money to grow. And actually Kyle's study, some money from Pedal seeded Kyle's study. So I'm, you know, I believe in that mission.
Pedal like bike pedal or
flower? Pedal, like Pedal the Cause. You can ride
it.
a bike. There's a 100-mile, 50-mile, 25-mile, and also a spin zone, which is where I participate. But they raise on average $5 million a year, and it all goes to Siteman Kids.
Is that a local nonprofit?
It's local.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
15 years. Last year was the 15-year anniversary. I just went to the podium dinner last night because we've raised a decent amount for them. And but here's the thing.
That word purpose. You said it many times on this podcast.
Yes, we all have a purpose. And if we can lean into it and just listen to God and walk through the doors that He opens, and it is just sitting there in silence and figuring out, journaling, or however you take time to figure out what is your calling, what is your purpose. And it's not always what you thought it was.
No, I can tell you that.
And that's the other thing that comes with age, right? Knowing that and messing up and learning from it and realizing you're not in charge.
I never thought I'd be a recovery pastor.
I mean, right?
And I have an MDiv. I know they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they want to call me.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So we raised, by the end of 2024, we raised over $2 million for the Kyle Andersen Fund, and Dr.
Congratulations.
Lim. Yeah. And really to all of the people that have donated, truly it's, you know, all of Kyle's people and my people have, you know, donated their hard-earned money. And here's the beautiful thing about this. So it's called the Andersen study. It is now in 30 to 40. So I'm going to use rough numbers because I'm not employed with Siteman, and so I'm just going to give you roundabout numbers. I don't want to, So
what was the hashtag? Math girls?
Girl math.
Girl math. Got it.
God damn it, Chris.
Sorry. Girl math.
Math girls?
Math girls.
So I'm going to math girl out a little bit.
Please do it.
It's in about 30 to 40 patients right now across the country. Kyle's study. It's in pancreatic cancer patients. It's in stomach cancer patients. And I just found out the other day that it's also in colorectal cancer patients, which all GI cancers, right? And GI or colorectal cancer is actually the #1 killer of cancer patients at this point. Yeah.
I think that might be what Mike Kelly was his name. Passed away. It's in this family, and his sister was like my sister family, and I hear a lot of Mike's battle and Kyle's, and so I think it was that
colorectal cancer. Yeah, and it's interesting. One of my best friends who I met at Cycle Bar, because I started teaching at Cycle Bar here because I was so obsessed with indoor cycling, like all throughout pregnancy, and one of the very first gals I met. You know what? I'm not going to say her name because she actually recently became a therapist and is starting her own practice. But she had colorectal cancer and beat it, stage 3B colorectal cancer in her very early 30s, and beat it. And I remember at her she threw parties throughout her treatment, cancer parties. And I mean, she's an amazing.
I like this gal.
She's amazing.
All right, she's a badass.
She's a badass, and we look a lot alike. People think we're sisters. I'm like, yeah, no, stop. So, anywho, at her no evidence of disease party, her husband stood up and said, I want to thank all of you for being a part of her army and coming and standing by us and supporting us. He's like, and we're going to be by your side when one of you get cancer, because 1 in 2 people will get cancer in their lifetime. And I remember looking around the room and being like, I wonder who in this room's going to be next.
That just fucking hit like a ton of bricks.
Not thinking my husband, who's sitting to the right of me, is the next one. A few months later.
Oh, shit.
He was diagnosed. I'm like, who else in this room? Not us. My husband, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. You just never know.
When did you start the podcast?
I started it early 2024. So he died April 3rd, 2023. I started it March of 24.
And it's yes.
Yes, we can.
It's yes.
Yes,
exclamation point or comma. Okay, we can.
Exclamation
Chris
point.
has never spoken English before.
Punctuation's not his thing.
It's fine.
But I knew it. I knew there was an exclamation point because I love
yeah.
it. It's at the end. Yes, comma, we can, exclamation point.
Yeah.
You started it when?
I believe it was March of 24. So someone had heard my story, had me on their podcast, was like, you should start your own podcast. And I'm like, if it's going to help people, if it's going to raise awareness and raise more money, I'm in. And so,
amen. That's how somebody said you should do it. And I'm like, okay, what else am I going to fucking do? So I get it. That's like the push.
Yeah. And I felt called to do it, and everything happened, and, so 2024, I had guests on, and it was a startup production company. I didn't have any sponsors at that point, so I was just shelling out checks every month.
Word.
And you never know,
What do you say? Herd chef.
Herd chef.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of 2024, I had worked really hard, raised $1 million for Team Kyle, Pedal the Cause, because I had negotiated with them. If I raise $1 million, it'll go to Dr. Lim, because that's where my heart was. The first year I did Pedal, we raised several $100,000, and it didn't necessarily go to Dr. Lim. It went into a pot. He did get funds from that. Okay. But I'm like, wait a second, what am I doing? Like, we need to go right to the Andersen fund. And so that year I negotiated with Pedal, raised $1 million, but it about killed me. And the end of 2024, I had to take a breather. I'm like, I need to, probably just chill a minute. And when I did that, anxiety came coming in.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And grief, like a ton of bricks. So the start of 2025, I had severe anxiety. We upped my medication. I was taking doing anything and everything I can. Sure. It then turned into severe depression. I stopped working out. I paused my podcast. I'm an investor in an entrepreneur club and stopped showing up there. I don't even remember really what I was doing, but I just know I could barely get myself out of bed.
Fucking enemy can come, man. I'm telling you.
And it messes with your brain. Like, I was having intrusive thoughts. even thoughts of what's the point? Why am I here? And I had these 3 beautiful children that God had blessed me with, and they were what kept me going.
Sure.
Right. So I didn't fundraise much at all in 2025. I maybe made a couple calls for Pedal. That's it. It was actually Kyle's partners that raised $27,000 for Team Kyle. So they really should have been at that podium dinner last night. But, so towards the end of 2025, and by the way, I did anything and everything I could to get out of that, right? Support groups. I went to an intensive outpatient program.
You did?
I did.
Good for you, though. That is fucking battling.
I have kids. I cannot do
How long
this.
was that IOP program?
I don't know, but I hated it.
Sure.
It was a room with a bunch of other depressed people, and I wasn't getting better. And some of them were, people were like, I feel better today. And I'm like, I feel worse today. And I met another cancer widower there. And so it was helpful, though, in that their psychiatrist would talk with me, and we were looking at different options and different medications and different ways to do this, right? And she worked with my psychiatrist, and I had 2 different depression treatments, and the second one worked. And by the end of 2025, I was getting back to myself. And the beginning of 2026, I would say I was back to myself, like Kyle, I'm talking, and my normal personality is like, my family used to joke that I say amazing, like too much. Like I love everything. God is good. And the
perky, positive Kira.
Polly, and I'm wearing bright colors and bebopping around, and everyone's my friend. And so I was feeling back to myself. So I'm like, all right. So I started my podcast back up. And I had a sponsor. So
awesome.
Congrats. And then that continued. I have many sponsors now, which is amazing. And the production companies, and they morphed into a different production company, so it's run a little differently. And
you have a studio locally?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, in Fenton. And that's taken off. I've had some incredible guests on, and
yes.
Really the platform, the whole point of my podcast is, and the whole point of Yes We Can is, yes, we can get through those hard things. And it's not if hard things happen, it's when. And so I have people on that have been through something and come out and are making a difference in this world and sharing their story. And the whole idea is to let people know they're not alone.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact people are sitting there listening to people thinking, oh my gosh, this is how I feel. This is what happened to me. This is where I'm at. But if she can do it, I can do it.
And you're meeting them where they're at in the
Yes.
AirPod. That's one thing we've been working on. And that, like, you talk about, because people are lonely and isolated, and sometimes their first fight back would be throwing on because it's not intimidating. They're not, they're not walking into a group by themselves, which can be intimidating. They're putting on an ear pod and they're hearing that somebody can do it, and it gives them the courage. I mean, it's incredible work. I wouldn't know you if you wasn't for your podcast, because of Brooke sharing her story with addiction and losing her children and fighting to get them back, and she's doing really well, and it was really, I mean, and you have a variety of different just warrior stories.
Yes, not just cancer.
Right.
Well, obviously Brooke was she was my first and only so far recovery story.
Yeah, it was powerful.
Yeah,
her story is really powerful.
Again, I think God puts people in your life at the right time for the right place for the right reason. You look back at your life and you're like, of course. And Maggie, was like, you should have Brooke on, and I've been careful.
Shout out to Maggie Sullivan, Dr. Maggie Sullivan, Executive Director of Gratitude
House, which is a sober living house for women.
There's not enough of, by the way.
Correct.
It was a huge gap.
Correct. There is
quality.
Yes, exactly. That's what I hear. And also shout out to Spas and More, who is my primary sponsor of the Yes We Can podcast.
Spas or More?
Spas and More.
And More, okay.
Yep, they're off of Gravway. They have a huge warehouse with hot tubs, cold plunges, and
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. You get to try it. You get to go in and actually try them. Which is pretty cool. So she has been super supportive, which is amazing. It's allowed this podcast to grow and allowed people to come on and share their stories. And yeah, I feel super blessed. I love doing it. I wish I could do it.
It's life-giving.
It is. It's healing for me.
Sure.
It's healing for them. People have messaged me. It's changed their lives, given them hope. Again, knowing they're
That's the Holy Spirit, man,
correct,
isn't it?
Correct. And we aren't in this life alone.
No.
And we all have a purpose, right? And after going through what we went through with Kyle, my mother, and then Kyle, and then my extreme anxiety and depression, which, by the way, I try to hide from my kids, of course, to the best of my ability.
Is that shame again?
Exactly. And my kids are happy, healthy children. They really, really are. They're thriving, and, I can have God, to thank for that. But I mean, that's my, that is my number one purpose and goal, is to raise happy, healthy children. And I know that I also have to be happy and healthy. And with my personality type, I have got to have, I need to live out my purpose, and it's to be their mother, and it's to help others. I believe
it's the oxygen mask, and you're doing it. And I am, I could go for like 4 more hours with you.
I know. I'm sorry.
It is 3:15. I want to make sure you get home
in
time. But we got to have you back on and stay in touch, and anything we can do to help support the Kyle Andersen Fund.
Yes.
Well, if you can text me or email me so Kurt can get everything in the show notes.
That'd be awesome.
Anything that I'm missing on that you need? The fund, the group, the support group, if it's open, that's huge for people.
Never Alone Widows is a Christian organization, so please reach out to us. And then STL Crew is the one that's over in St. Peter's, the other side.
Okay.
Way over there.
Right.
Chesterfield and beyond. And yes, if I have a QR code and a link. It'll go directly to the Kyle Andersen Fund.
Incredible.
So we started a crowdfunding page with a couple other widows and someone that's currently battling, which is wild. That story's crazy. They were in the Netherlands. I went to college with her. She followed our story. Her husband is having stomach pain. Turns out she was dreading pancreatic cancer. He got pancreatic cancer. In the Netherlands, they only give you 12 rounds of FOLFIRINOX. So she called me literally like days after he got diagnosed. Dr. Lim took him in. Said we have looked at his scans.
Love this Dr. Lim, by the way.
He's phenomenal. Yeah, he was just on my podcast. So you should.
We're going to check that out. I want to hear that.
Holy smokes! So anyway, this is relevant because I want you to know when you donate. By the way, it's tax write-off. You can use your donor advised funds. When you donate, it affects patients here and now. So Dr. Lim looked at his scans and everything and said, yes, we have more for you here at Siteman. They moved back from the Netherlands, and within a month, he was in a study that Dr. Lim had been studying, and it's working. His tumors, he was stage 4 pancreatic cancer, young guy, his tumor has shrunk and continues to shrink. And it's all because of, Dr. Lim's lab and all the money these generous people have donated over the last couple of years to keep him open and keep studying and because doctors, they joke that doctors are grant writers. It's not funny. It's not funny. They shouldn't be grant writers. They should be studying and seeing patients, researching and seeing patients. Instead, they have to spend tons of time writing grants to try to get money to keep their labs open, to keep studying, to keep researching. So that's why I'm here to tell you, please, please, please pick a cancer, whatever cancer has been close, has hit your life, and donate a little bit. If everybody can donate a little bit, we can move mountains. I do always say if you have a lot of money, a lot of discretionary income, and you do give charitably, pick a cancer and really donate a promising researcher, because our hard-earned money can and will and is moving mountains. The government is not taking care of it. They're not. And they are the number one funder of cancer research. People don't realize that. But it's a very small percent of their budget.
That is a very important message. And hearing that story about the Netherlands, like that is just testimony that death doesn't fucking win.
It doesn't win. And we're all in this life together again. And a little bit, when you do little things, charitable actions, and donate a little bit of your income, just, it does matter. It does matter. And I really encourage people to find a promising researcher, right? There's big organizations out there. Kudos to them. But a lot of times your money goes into a big pot and you don't see where it goes.
Sure.
Something like this, you can see it, track it. I'm in touch with Dr. Lim regularly in Siteman, so I know what's happening in the studies.
He is not shaking you. I get that. Right? You guys are joined at the hip.
Oh, he answers right away. I text him, call him. Any patient I send to him, they get right in. He is like, and also I didn't even know if I told you that the study, those 30 to 40 patients, about half of them, it's completely eradicating their stage 4 cancer. The other half, most of them are responding, meaning it's shrinking. And then there's only 1 or 2 non-responders. So it's freaking working. What it did in mice, it did in Kyle, it's doing in others. And so I believe if Kyle would have gotten this treatment when he first got diagnosed, that he'd still be here, because he wouldn't have had to go through all those rounds of chemo.
That just, zaps you, man.
that leads me to why I continue to fundraise for cancer research. And I was on Fox 2 on Monday. God did this. Dr. Lim was on my show on Tuesday. I was on Channel 5 on Wednesday to talk about this and encourage people to donate.
Well, you coming on this little podcast is we are so grateful. This is an honor, and I am anything we can do, and that the people that listen to this can make a dent. Please do it. We'll do whatever we can to continue to support. This isn't a one-time thing. Consider you a friend now, and Kyle, somebody that I'll never forget his story and yours. And we got to stay in touch because it takes a community for sure.
It really does. And like I said, we're all in this together. We're all interconnected. So thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry for taking up so much time.
Don't be. We could go longer and longer. Just tell Cora and Cora, Leah, and Dane.
Yeah.
Mom's getting home soon.
Yeah. Oh, they're a riot. They know everything. They can recite anything. They're like besties with Dr. Lim. And I mean, my 9-year-old's going to be she's like 9 going on 29, almost 9. Like she could run the show.
A little oncologist in the making.
Yeah, and she looks exactly like me. It's hilarious. So anyway, I'm very humbled and honored to be here. And the work you guys are doing is amazing too. It's much needed.
It's everybody's a light, and we want to shine as bright as we can because there's a lot of people out there that are lost and need to find community and defeat isolation and shame, which it ravages widows, it ravages cancer survivors. It's why people fall into self-medication and addiction. So it's all definitely woven together, and all the glory up. So amen, and thank you so much. And thank you. Kyle, I know he's listening and fucking hero.
Yeah. He said yes to that study, and it changed everything.
Thanks for being on, Kira. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
All right. Let us pray.
Yeah. I'll react if I had to, put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. I'll react if I had to, put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to, yeah. Don't know the time, wait.